Welcome back to the Shonen Post podcast. This is episode 15, and I'm your host, Yato. Once again, I'm joined by my co host, Knox
Yeah, yeah.
and Weeb.
I'm finally back.
Hey, welcome back. And on
Welcome
this
back,
channel,
buddy.
we talk about 9 different weekly manga that you should be reading. Those manga include Don Centuria, Chainsaw Man, Gachiakuta, Ranger Reject, Galaxius, Ichi the Witch, Astro Royale, Kagurabachi. Today, though, we're only talking about 5 of those because we got some breaks and we got some chapters that haven't been translated and some stuff like that. So it's a short week this week. We got timestamps down below to help you skip segments for stuff you might not be reading, and all the usuals. Drop kick the like button, tongue punch the subscribe button,
Yeah.
stomp on the comment section. Let us know your thoughts. Give us them juicy brain details, man. Let us know what you think about the chapters this week. What's your favorite chapter of the week? We'll talk about chapter of the week too later. And we don't be afraid to drop comments on how we could possibly improve the channel. We take those suggestions to heart and implement things. Also, if you want us to be on stuff like Apple Music or Spotify and all that good stuff, help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark first, because we need to be at 1,000 subscribers before we start branching out and splitting our viewer base up and putting it on other platforms. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling. We're gonna start this off with Centuria chapter 39. Weeb, welcome back. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was not expecting how this chapter was panning out, but first I just want to say the little family that Julian has created now is honestly great. I am very suspicious of our new swordsman friend, even more, especially with the events of this chapter. And I'm curious to see if Julian's going to go past a point of no return in this chapter, because I wasn't expecting to see the guy's mom in this chapter, let alone just fully get a bit more into his backstory and how he ended up as a slave to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit's pretty
So
crazy. This panel of since you were talking about Lucas being sus or whatever, I'm just looking at every single drawing of this dude, like ever since we kind of like brought up the idea that he could be on some like weird shit. Um but yeah, when Julian's like it's an escape plan only our family knows about, the drawing of Lucas in that panel is just so, I don't know why, but it's making me itchy. Like,
I didn't
it's
think
just like
anything about it. Yeah.
no facial details like whatsoever, just like the angle. And I know that I could just be like reading, too much into it or whatever, but it's like, man, it's like, why aren't you showing this man's eyes, mouth? It's like he just looks so sus to me in that drawing for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that you said that. I thought we were free, man. Just free from the Lucas fucking traitor
You
stuff,
feel it
man.
though when you look at it now, right? Like you kind of see what I'm saying a little
I
bit.
mean, I'm not gonna say I do, but
Yeah,
but it's just like, yeah. I mean, this is not something that's good for him to know if that's the case. But like, I was more concerned about Lacrima, because it's like, hey,
yeah.
this is our secret escape route, and then Lacrima pulls up and it's like, do you just slam the door and be like, oh yeah, we just found a door over here. I don't know what this is. I'll look into it later. But it's like, this she's not a friend. Like, she straight up just is like, the goal is murder, but like she's
Yeah,
kind of
maybe
hanging
she
out there
shouldn't
because,
see this escape route, I
yeah.
guess, right?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, she wants the bone, but like once that's not as soon as she doesn't want to have sex with him anymore, like they're back to murder. You kill my brother or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. It's like, yeah, she probably should not see this door propped open like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was when the chapter started with the mom stuff, I was like, okay, I was rereading chapter one, and I remember that he told Mira, who is Diane's mom, before she gave birth or whatever. He was telling her that his mom sold him or whatever, so he was a slave and all this other shit. So I kind of, this is fresh because I was literally just rereading chapter one like today and yesterday or whatever. So I
hmm
Yeah.
saw this. I was like, okay, it's nice to get a little more of that. But I don't know, man. Centuria is doing the thing where it's like things are like very conveniently popping up, and I feel like it's like happening too soon. Like, like how we were saying before, or maybe it was just me where I was like, he fights Arcos, and then the next person he fights is Lacrima with the same power. And then it's like they showed the king, and he also kind of looks like Julian. It's like, so there's some things that I feel like these reveals would play better if like they were spaced out a little more or something. And
Sure.
it's like
I think
showing
running
the
into the
mom.
mom. I think running into the mom the way that he did is fine. Like if they like, are you saying that because they showed, the flashback of like his mom in the on the first page, that it's weird that he runs into the mom later in the chapter? Because I think they only showed the mom flashback in the beginning because he randomly runs into her in this chapter, right?
Uh
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah,
kind of a classic way to like set something up for like a
Yeah.
yeah,
reveal later in
So
the
like,
chapter. Though
yeah, like
usually it's like,
imagine if that first page wasn't set up like that, and
mm,
like he just ran into the mom, and then you got the flashback afterwards. Like, would that feel better?
I don't know. I just feel like maybe like for me, it's like maybe he should have like, obviously I'm not a writer, but like if I
Mhm.
had to do it, like
I
how
am.
I would have rewritten it. Shut up. How I would have rewritten it would be like maybe he saw like in the chapter with like him seeing his mom like on a wagon leaving town, and he's like, "Hey, is that like?" He sees her, and it's like, "Hey, she looks familiar." And then the chapter ends, and the next chapter he like chases the wagon and finds out that it's her or something. And then we get this. I don't know. It just feels
Sure.
like it all happened so soon.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it just I think it all just comes down to like the execution, and everything. Like personally, I think it was fine. Like starting the chapter off like that. A lot of series tend to do that, but
I feel like we
I
do
feel
see that in other things. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like maybe like spend a bit more time with like our core group in town, bit more character interactions, and then end the chapter off with Julian seeing his mother, and then have the literal next chapter just be fully on that,
Yeah,
and
Sure.
then
Yeah.
see how that goes. I think that would have flowed a bit better if that was the case. But I'm fine with how it is right now because at least it ends off with the suspense of Julian like grappling with his want to literally kill his own mother for, you know, selling him off into slavery, but also despite her literally losing her sight, being so weak and sick, and still seemingly clinging on to that lie that her son died in the plague when she used to tell when just random guys she would take back to be at their home and just kick Julian out of the house.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
here's the thing.
I think I like what before you like move on or
Yep.
whatever. I think I like
But
just on the subject of like how the chapter was kind of like executed with this mom business. After hearing what Yato just said about how the chapter could have been written, or um how the events could have flowed or whatever, and hearing what you said about it too, I think I like both of what you guys said better than how the chapter actually panned out, now that you guys have kind of like broken it down, because Yato was saying um you know see her on like a wagon or whatever at the end of the chapter, and like go chase her into the next chapter and then get the flashback, and then like the way that you said it too, I feel like both of those are better.
Yeah, it feels like the first half of this chapter could have happened the way it did up until the part where like they see the mom. So instead of seeing the mom, they just go through the town and talk more, and then maybe Diane goes like, tell me about your mom or something, and he's like he doesn't want to like say much or whatever. You can tell that he's like bothered and it still hurts or whatever. And then at the end of the chapter, you see like a woman in a wagon with some hair that looks like his, and then people will be like, "Hey, is that Julian's mom?" And then Julian also goes like, "Hey, is that?" And then that leaves us for a week thinking like, is that his mom?
Yeah.
But like we also get like character interactions from these guys in the town, and they fucking buy some more apples and shit. Like he's got groceries, so like show us
Hmm.
them buying the groceries, show us that fucking Diane, made sure like she wouldn't let him leave the market without buying like the fucking cotton candy grapes that she likes and shit. Like don't let them leave. Have some character interactions in the market, and they're like they see a wagon pull it off, and then next chapter you have this back half where it's like she sold me into slavery, and like you have a little more conversation maybe between like not Julian, like all the same stuff you keep with Julian and his mom, but like have more convo with like everyone else about how they're talking about what Julian should do, and then end off on like this same cliffhanger where it's like, shit, is he gonna kill her? And then just they could have stretched this out to like two more chapters, and I think it would have felt better.
Yeah, I think I
yeah,
agree. I think that now, I mean, I didn't mind it at first, but now that we've had the conversation, it definitely does kind of feel like they packed too much of this into one chapter.
Yeah, it's
also I
just
kind of
like
like how Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go on.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I went forever. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. No, what I was gonna say is that I also kind of liked how like Lacrima just basically become Diana's like surrogate older sister now. How she literally just offered just carry her, and it also brings into the fact that for a 6-year-old, she's pretty big for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
keep mentioning that.
Yeah, so who said that she's probably just aging quicker due to her connection to that eldritch monster thing? Was it you or
I don't know
Yato,
who
or
said it, but isn't that just like
I don't
obviously
remember
what's
who.
happening in the narrative?
I think so. I think one of us did say it.
Yeah,
Or
one of you
something along those
somebody
lines.
did say that there was something going on with that. Also,
It's probably
before we move on, this is more so just like a thing that I really wish was like a thing for like stuff from like Weekly Show and Jump, but keep the editor notes at the end of a chapter. I like
You-
that. I like that Jump, that Manga Plus or like Jump Plus, like still has those and fully translates
Oh
those.
yeah. Where would his
Those
enraged
are always
fist
fun
fall?
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Those are always fun to see.
I feel like that's like in most series, regardless of magazine, isn't it?
No, yeah, no, it's like in most series. It's in most series, but like I don't know why they. I don't know why that. I really wish that they did translate those. It's always nice, and sometimes it adds like clarification on some things that you won't know even by the next chapter.
Yeah, there's definitely some stories that don't do it. Like I want to
I'm
say
struggling to think of
It's not
series that
everything,
don't. To be
but
honest,
like,
I know that some stories don't, but I just like can't
yeah.
think. Maybe Gachiakuta.
Yeah, the Gachi is one, and I want to say like Shangri-La Frontier. Those are two stories that I always feel like end. Like it'll be like 18-page chapter, but the way the chapters flow is like when you get to page 18, it feels like it's page like 14, and there's 4 more pages, but like there is nothing left. So it's
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
always feel like they end right in the middle of like a conversation. It's like what where's the rest of the? So it's like they
yeah,
don't have that like they don't have that end of the chapter like what will he do next time
yeah.
or
The
whatever.
editor's note, like superimposed on the last page, is good for like letting you know that the chapter is over. I guess in that way, but it's also
Yeah.
just like good for like I don't know if hype is the right word, but it just makes everything feel like more like dramatic or cinematic. I don't really know
it's an
like
extra
what word.
flair.
Yeah, it's like an extra
Yeah.
flair. It's something that I just like really love about Japanese comics specifically because you don't really get
Yeah.
that in the West. That's
Yeah.
like a
It's
that's like
like
a manga exclusive
yeah, or like the find out next time on Dragon Ball Z type of
type
deal.
shit.
Like, yeah, so it's like
Hmm.
we kind of grew up on that shit with
Yeah,
shit like Dragon Ball and whatever.
Yeah.
but anyway, my tangent over with. Let's ask the big question right now. Do you think Julian will actually go through with this?
Hell
No,
no.
no, he can't
I
do
don't
it.
think so either. But it would
Absolutely
be a
not.
really interesting twist if Julian actually goes through with
I
it.
would be
I
If
highly
he
doubt
so
it,
surprised if he
if he
did.
does it,
especially
yeah,
with TD there.
if he yeah, he's not gonna do it with TT there, but or not TT, but Diana.
No, I think Lacrima like took her for a walk or something.
Oh,
She
okay.
wasn't in those last few panels.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it, but like if he did, that would be the biggest balls of a fucking mangaka ever. Yo, having the
Yeah.
main character punch his mom, his sick blind mom to death. Nah, bro.
Yeah, nah. You
Yeah.
definitely
It's
don't have your like shonen MC do something like that. I mean, that's not impossible, obviously. The writer can do whatever they want. But I think that this is just like a moment for, internal like character writing, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
conflict and it's just for like development purposes.
I think like next chapter we'll have like a moment where Julian like fully like disconnects from his birth mother's like, no, you are not my mother. I already have a mom.
Yeah, he's about to just give her words. He's not about to punch
Yeah.
her. He's about
Yeah.
to just tell her about herself and
I
himself.
was just thinking like he like next chapter opens like he's like this and he's pissed and he wants to punch her, but he just like he just puts his fist down to the ground and he's just like can't do it and he's just like he doesn't bother with her anymore. He gives her this place to stay and he gives her food, but he doesn't like fuck with her. He just lets her, we'll let you stay here until you die type of deal.
Yeah, he's gonna
Like you
do the
can
thing where he punches the ground right next to her
yeah,
face.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't
So
see it, so it's like no one's gonna know.
She
but,
gonna
like,
feel the
everyone.
thump though.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna communicate that like
Mhm.
I almost ended your whole shit right now, and here's why.
You know, something came to mind after reading this chapter that it depends on the execution of it and if it'd be like a weird thing to put into the story. But what if Julian remembering the stuff about his mom for the most part and how she lied about him? What if what if it's like a case of the unreliable narrator? What if he like fabricated those memories and that his mom actually believed that he died? What if that?
Um,
Imagine if that was the case. Like this is just something that just popped into my head.
Like maybe his
I don't.
mom has like a mental disorder where she like
Yeah,
thinks
Yeah,
that he's dead or something.
like legitimately either think like one thing could be like she instantly regretted like selling him, and so it's a coping mechanism. She like fully believes that he died due to the plague,
that's what I
or
was thinking
something.
too. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
think that she I don't think this is a lie at this point. I think she's
yeah.
just like
yeah,
so far gone, like
Now that she's at the
or
end
physically
of her rope,
and
yeah,
mentally at the end of her life that she just like, you know, can not convinced herself, but like that lie just became a memory to her instead of a lie.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There
That's
could also be the possibility that Julian doesn't fully remember everything that happened too clearly, like when he
I
got
think
sold off.
I don't think it's that personally.
I don't think it
I
is,
think
but
Julian definitely
it's just
remembers
something that just
everything.
yeah,
Trauma sticks with you in a way to
yeah,
where like you don't forget shit like
true.
that. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
impossible.
and
You
he
know what
was
I
a
mean?
slave.
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he he did it, it. It is a fact that he became a slave. Like,
Right. And we know and it
yeah,
is a fact that he did not die, obviously, to the
yeah,
plague, you know what I mean? So like there's not really too much for him to be wrong about here.
yeah.
But I
Which is
definitely
why,
think
like,
it's possible that she genuinely remembers it happening that way instead of just lying about it until she died.
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be what's gonna end up being revealed that like within the coming chapters.
It's possible
Well,
that the
next chapter.
circumstances. It's possible that the circumstances are different. Like maybe she didn't sell him for like booze or whatever. Maybe like some guy forced her, like, give me him or I'm gonna kill you. And she was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Or
Yeah,
But
she
it's possible that he just
or
doesn't have all of the context on the mom side of things
the
and just like filled in the gaps himself because of like
yeah,
how
yeah.
shitty he felt about things. Yeah.
Could also be the fact that I think if I remember correctly, he was sold to a blacksmith, right?
yeah. In chapter,
Yeah. So,
I don't know if he was sold, but he ended up with a blacksmith. Yeah,
yeah. So what if this ends up being the case where over the years his mother just knew, yeah, if this kid stays with me, it's gonna screw up things for both of us. Maybe if I maybe this blacksmith seems like an up and up type of guy. And maybe she
Mm.
just didn't actually sell him. Maybe she just gave him over to the blacksmiths, thinking that the blacksmith would actually give him a somewhat better life than what she would give him. And Julian just assumed that he was legitimately sold off to the blacksmith.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just went back to it. My mother
Yeah,
sold me for a pittance when I was
and-
very little. My master was a blacksmith. That's where I learned. I did all kinds of chores while covered in ash and soot all day. He burned me with heated metal rods, and if I even made the slightest mistake, when it seemed like he was finally about to kill me, I grabbed a nearby grindstone and cracked his skull open.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like that, the way the blacksmith treated him would just further cement that his mother fully didn't care for him, and just like fully make it feel like, yeah, she like 100% sold me to this piece of shit guy.
Yeah, the blacksmith
Like,
could have just been like, completely different to Julian's mother at the time of the trade and then took
exactly.
him back to the crib and like
Beat his
revealed his
ass
true
and shit.
colors and was a
Yeah.
piece of shit. Yeah, he could have walked up on the mom like, "Hey, let me take your son out of this shitty ass life. I got something for him over here. I'll raise him as a blacksmith. I'll give him a way better life than you could give him here, as a prostitute or whatever." And
Yeah.
she was just like, "Yeah, get my son out of here, bro. Thank you." And then he gets back to the crib like, "All right, now I have someone to take my anger out on or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
type
and
shit.
and,
He
and
if the
Julian probably
blacksmith
just never heard that
if the
conversation.
blacksmith
Exactly.
yeah, if the blacksmith went even further, we could call him the new Gen Gambino.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely don't think that like she is when she says now that her child died in the plague. I don't think that that's like a lie. Like back in the day when she lied for like maybe telling people that her son died in the plague when she was a younger damsel or whatever. That was like, oh, let me go help on this woman, rub her back, make her feel better, and it was like something for pity. But now it's like she's old as fuck. She's not gonna get anything out of like saying her son's dead. Like
On her
she already
deathbed and shit
yeah.
too.
It's
Yeah.
like I already bought you out of slavery. Like you don't have to like sell your story to me. So it's like I feel like at this point, like since it's been 20 years or whatever, she's definitely that's just a story that she's come to believe. Just like you said.
Yeah, I could see the next chapter like opening up with like, Julian like struggling with this decision and like the whole like conflict of like, do I murder her, do I not? And then like him deciding not to for one reason or another, and then like the writing that kind of explains that, and then afterwards it goes into like a black guttered like flashback that gives the full context of like what actually transpired,
Yeah.
like with his mom, like all of these gaps that we're talking about in the context that he's missing is just like fully revealed to us to like further,
To us, but not Julian.
yeah, to us but not
Yeah,
Julian, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect dramatic irony moment.
Yeah. So I can definitely see it kind of unfolding like that in the next chapter. I think that would be a great way to do it, especially considering the narrative flow critiques that we kind of had with this chapter in the beginning of the conversation.
Now that I think about it, I can actually see like the assassins pulling up and like Julian being forced to like save her, and it's like a
Oh my
whole
God,
deal.
that'd be
Like,
perfect.
no, not my mother.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, and it's like
Epic
he
free
feels
for all
like
in the marketplace.
yeah, like maybe he says like I can't do it, but like I'm gonna be the one to snuff her out or whatever when like the time comes. Like I'll euthanize my mom type shit. But like assassins coming, he's like, no, it's gotta be me. But he also like deep down knows that he can't kill his mom, so like he really is just planning to let her die. But like somebody pulls up and they got fucking ball and chain and they swinging that shit around. It's like you can't fucking be in this room, bro. It's my mom's room. I
Yeah,
can see
or
it
the
being a whole big
assassins
deal.
actually like pull up and successfully murder her somehow in front of
Yeah,
him
that'd be
would be
wild.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like before he gets the like chance to like fucking settle things within himself and with his mom, it's like he walks out of the room and he's like, I'm gonna sleep on it, and in their sleep the mom gets assassinated.
Or maybe
Mhm.
like, yeah, like while he's still like, torn inside of himself, like, do I kill her? Don't I kill her? And then an assassin pulls up and just does it before he makes the decision. Would be
Yeah, it's
fucking
like
crazy. It's like, it looked like you
yeah.
like this woman. Figured I'd get her out of here real quick.
Yeah, like somebody's looking at them through like a telescope, peeping through the window or something, or like they saw them, like, oh, I saw these guys bring that old lady in the building. She must be important or whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
crazy ways that this can go now that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's what ends up making this overall. I say was still a pretty good chapter. Obviously, we all agree that like how things were like paced out and brought to light here could have been done in a different way. But the possibilities now that this was introduced makes this even better for me.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like, it's all about like the next chapter, honestly. Like, the next
Yeah.
chapter can definitely fix a lot of the things, and and it's not even like it's like real serious things that we're complaining about in this chapter. Like, at the end of the day, like, in
It's
my
pretty
opinion, they're
minor.
just they're pretty minor gripes. Yeah, like I think the
Yeah.
chapter was great overall. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It does a lot for like the tone of the series and where we're at in the story right now. It's definitely got like a darker, more awkward feeling kind of like vibe to it with like the
Yeah.
events of this chapter and whatnot. And like it's good for like, I don't know if like world building is like really the way to say it, but like this is like the slave life, you know what I mean? Like this is like what like a lot of kids probably have a similar backstory to Julian in this world, you know what I mean? And it's like painting the picture of what it's like to exist in this time, to the reader in like a pretty poignant way, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good chapter. I wasn't expecting like, I saw the backstory at the beginning. I was like, oh cool, we'll get some more of his like history. But then to see the mom, I was like, oh, that was quick, kind of perfect timing, convenience. But it could all be fine next week and week after that. So I'm always down to let the manga cook, see what they
Hmm.
got going on. So I ain't gonna
Hmm.
trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I got to say for this chapter. What about you, Weeb?
I think I'm good.
Okay, Knox.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
All right, that's going to do it for Centuria, chapter 39, Child and Mother. Now jumping into Gachiakuta, chapter 124, Me Too. And, thought the guy might be out. I did say in the last review that, maybe not because he was still kind of holding on to that hammer at the end of the chapter, but,
Yeah, and then because he's holding on to the hammer was like confirmation that he was not dead, as we see in this chapter.
Yeah, it's like the hammer brought him back. Yo, he swung that bitch up. You're like, I ain't dead yet.
I ain't hear
Yeah, I
no
was like,
bell.
yeah, no, he's dead. He's
Yeah.
dead. Wow, I did not expect that, but he's alive.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's still up.
And we get a
Bloody.
backstory.
Yeah, was not expecting backstory here. Wasn't expecting one for a minute, but I mean, I guess
It
this is the
makes
best
sense.
time to do it. Yeah,
it
it's
makes
like
sense to put it here for sure.
Yeah. So what you think about the backstory? Anybody?
No, I honestly, I'm enjoying it right now, but it still feels a little. Obviously, we're in the middle of a flashback right now, so it's gonna feel incomplete. But I think we're starting to get a better picture of like how Folo came to be as a person and how he got his whole viewpoint on things.
Yeah.
Especially considering that he grew up with two friends, one of which being a guy that really wants to be a gifter, and just wields around, I believe, the same hammer that Folo now has to the present day.
Definitely looks like it. I just
Yeah.
realized he's kind of in a Team 7 situation where like he's Naruto who likes Sakura and Sakura likes Sasuke. But like but Folo doesn't become the fucking Hokage and get bitches, but like same situation.
Yeah. He's kind of Hamaru.
Damn.
Yeah.
I like the location that the flashback takes place in. I saw the snow. I was like, damn, it snows down here. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait, this snow has got to be so gross, bro. And they even like comment on it.
Yeah, I was not expecting a snowy area, which, to be fair, the possibility was always out there. It can't all just be like wastelands and full junkyards. I mean, we saw like a junk forest and all that, like in the previous arc. So,
nigga, this snow is junk. Like even the snow that we have in like even the snow we have in our world is filled with like pollution and microplastics and shit. Like imagine this snow and Buddy comes around the corner just like eating snowflakes falling. It's like, bro, are you crazy? You're gonna get mesothelioma or some shit.
Yeah, he's got that nasty ick.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious to see where this is leading, because it looks like we're starting to get like how Folo got his current mentality and how he like views like the gifters and eventually like the cleaners and all that, especially considering his relationship with
givers.
Yeah,
the givers. I don't know why I said gifters.
Come on, man, stay focused. Stay focused.
I'm gone for 2 weeks and I already get the terms. I already get the terms messed up.
No, it's all good. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, spin back.
Yeah, but yeah. The whole point of this is showing us like how Folo like got his whole like is a bit of an inferiority complex right now when it comes to givers, the cleaners, and all that.
Yeah, he's like, man, this shit is happening again to me.
Yeah,
I'm in this situation again. I left and joined this group thinking I was gonna be different, and here goes Sasuke again inside of Rudo, stealing my bitches and my fame.
No, based on how things pan out towards the end of the chapter and how it really feels like we cut away in like the midpoint of the chapter with how we left things off, with Folo reaching a crowd. At least that's how it feels to me. It feels like we should have gotten like one more page to really like give us a bit of a clearer picture of what was going on.
Literally what I was talking about in the last review, like in the Centuria review. Remember I said
and
like
you were
some
tweeting
stories.
It too.
But like I literally like 5 minutes ago into this like review that we're doing, like I literally was like Gachi and fucking like I want to say Shangri-La Frontier, like they have like 18-page chapters and like page 18 will feel like 13, and it's like, bro, I feel like there should be more. Where's the next page?
Because it doesn't have that superimposed editor note, bro. Like imagine if there was like some kind of like.
And what Folo has witnessed is ...
Yeah, something like that at the on the last page.
That extra punctuation.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been having a similar thing with like the recent. It's not about this isn't about the podcast, but recently with like the fairy tale chapters where they just like end off like without like concluding anything or like feeling like it's setting anything up. Like it has to feel like. It ends up feeling either anticlimactic or setting up another mystery that'll be solved within the next chapter. And I feel like Gachiakuta and like right now with like how Centuria was and all that, it's another pattern that we're getting with a lot of more of these series. And I I wouldn't say, I don't know. Just like for me personally, I feel like just add that extra page just to add a bit more clarification for the build up and the hype,
Yeah,
because it just
maybe
feels
we're just used to it.
anticlimactic.
Yeah, maybe we're just like
Yeah,
used
that
to
might
things
be it.
always being like the last page always either has to be like a cliffhanger or the
Or at
tying
least
up
conclude
of
what's going on in that
yeah, you
chapter.
know, like it makes the chapters feel like they're whole stories in one
Yeah.
Yeah.
chapter. You know what I mean? And I feel like we see that a lot in like most stories. So when it doesn't happen in another one, it definitely can feel. I feel like I'm regularly
Yeah.
getting to the last page of Gachiakuta and being like, "Are we sure that's the last page?" Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I
Like,
wonder. I wonder how much of it is them like taking into consideration like the anime cutoffs or whatever. Like, oh yeah, I want my episode to end
I
here.
guess, but
mm,
like when like, at least for me, at least in terms of like another weekly shonen magazine manga, like like for the Apocalypse, they've been ending their chapters like in good spots, either right after a bit of a reveal or the start of a clash of a fight or just
Yeah.
characters finally meeting up, stuff like that. It just feels a lot more like it's more conclusive than it actually was than what we're getting right now.
You mentioning weekly shonen magazine also just brings me to like a feeling that I always like have. It's like I can definitely tell like if you put like 4 or 5 manga from Weekly Shonen magazine and 5 from Weekly Shonen Jump with and put them in front of me and let me read them without telling me like which is which. I could tell you which ones are in Jump and which ones are in Shonen magazine because it's like they have a different vibe. Like Shangri-La Frontier and Gachi and Ranger and Four Nights and just anything that I've ever read there. It just they're obviously both shonen. Like comparing like Weekly Shonen Mag to Weekly Shonen Jump, they're both shonen, targeted at the same age groups, but it's like Shonen magazine just feels different. I don't know. Like everything, like in Jump, it's like maybe it's because like in Jump, I feel like at some point, like everything feels like it can end, bright eyed, bushy tailed, rainbows and stuff. Like, and I don't really get that vibe. I guess reading like
I think I know
Shonen
what you
magazine
mean.
stories, it's like you can tell they're completely different. Like you can tell they're both Shonen, but they're in different magazines.
mm-hmm.
I think mainly because like with Shonen magazine, I think it's like despite it being a shonen, it does feel like a lot of times it's more geared towards like an older demographic with like with how a lot of series end up panning out and how they're market from what I can tell with how they're marketed. Also the fact that apparently that the actual covers of the magazines like actually have real women on them.
Yeah, I wish they would stop doing that. I feel like that's super lame.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why that's the case, but I guess maybe that's to draw in older viewers. I don't know.
Sex sells,
Yeah, but
man. They just know
yeah,
that they
but
just know that the readers are horny. So it's like, hey, look
yeah,
at
but
these
I
it's
titties.
guess
Buy the
that
but it's
also
like
explains a lot of series that are in this magazine too. Let's be
I guess
honest.
I guess it's also because they don't have a Luffy. It's like if they because it's like Luffy
No,
sells the magazine.
Yeah, all you got to do is put Luffy on
I
the
mean, you
front
would.
every 3 issues, and it's a
I mean, I mean, you would think like at least with Ippo, because that series has been is like over 1,400 chapters. That is the One Piece
But
of that
it's
magazine. So you
oh
would
yeah, but
true. I
it's
expect
forget
it.
that it's in Weekly Shonen magazine. Wow.
It's 300 chapters or 400 chapters longer than One Piece.
yeah, but One Piece has the whole like fucking adventure vibe
Adventure
and
aspect, yeah.
yeah, and the power scaling and the power, just powers in general. So
Yeah,
it's
Ippo's a little
one
bit more niche, isn't it?
yeah, it's a sports series and it's boxing and like the main character apparently hasn't been involved for like several, chapters. So it's like one Ippo, I feel like definitely, it could be on the cover, but like Ippo doesn't have the face that One Piece does. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
if they had a One Piece, then yeah, I feel like they'd be dumb to not put it on the cover instead of the like fucking bikini models. But I still feel like these, I just feel like Weekly Shonen magazine would probably sell more if they had like their characters on the front. Because bro, like, yeah, titties and shit are cool, but bro, let me see like a cool fucking, fall theme with all my niggas from the magazine. I want to see what Percy and fucking Foot Soldier D look like wearing Halloween costumes and shit. Like, but
Yeah,
do a fucking Christmas cover with all the characters from your magazine. Like,
yeah.
Jump does that shit. It busts. People love it. And it's like,
Maybe
Yeah,
they
and I
like
think like
also
I think
want to like
Shonen
make
Sunday and Shonen
sure.
Champion do the same thing like Jump also, I believe, from what I know.
I want to say like from a business perspective too. It's like you probably don't want to just like copy other publication lines, marketing
yeah,
approaches all that often if you can. It's probably like I don't know, maybe pride's not like the word or whatever, but like they want to like make sure that they like differentiate themselves from,
yeah.
the competition to a certain degree. So
True, but it's like fucking Weekly Shonen Jump don't got a fucking monopoly on Christmas covers, dog. Like you could put fucking Christmas hats on fucking Rudo, bro. Like
Yeah.
you could do a fucking gingerbread man, fucking like you could do the shit. Like
Yeah.
I hope something changes, and I really hope I hope when the Gachiakuta anime happens, like that shit blows up so big that they're like, whoa, maybe we should like rethink this situation and start actually promoting our like action adventure stories a little more instead of like I feel like like Ranger still doesn't really get promoted like at all. It's like the only series on K manga that isn't getting translations and even the other day, like unofficial Weekly Shonen Magazine Twitter account tweeted something about Ranger, and they even called it Ranger Reject in the tweet. And I was like, that's hilarious that the Shonen Magazine like unofficial account called it Ranger Reject because that's not like what y'all call it. Y'all call it Go Go Loser Ranger. So it's like, bro, like what is even happening? There's no like unity
Yeah.
within the company. Like y'all don't even know what to call it and shit. Like it's not being translated. Nobody knows it exists. There's hella fucking manga in that magazine that are probably good, but like we don't hear about them, and it's mostly like rom coms. And we got titties on the cover. Like put fucking something cool. Like put Percy fucking wielding the fucking whatever Meliodas' fucking half blade is called on the cover, and people are like, oh shit, like I didn't know fucking Seven Deadly Sins had a sequel. Like some people don't even know that shit exists because we
What
got
is his
fucking
sword called? Lost Vein?
I tweet.
Yeah.
Is that it? Lost Vein?
No, no, that's not Lost Vein. That's just the dragon handle, and Percival just calls it the Percival sword. He didn't give it a creative
Yeah.
name like literally everybody else's weapons have an actual creative name.
I
Yeah,
thought
Percival's just a
I forgot that
simple-minded person.
I forgot that he had like that like broken like half sword or whatever in the beginning of the story, but then like later, like when the Ten Commandments come in, he like gets his like national treasure back, and I'm pretty sure it was called Lost Vein. That gives him
Yeah,
the
it is. He
physical
still has it.
gives him the physical clone ability. Yeah.
yeah.
Which this is a bigger tangent. Those weapons are a freaking plot hole in a plot hole if you really dig deep and think about it.
I don't know. I fucking dropped that shit like at the end of the first Ten Commandments arc, so I wouldn't know. But
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
Let's,
I'm not gonna get into that. I already
yeah,
talked about
yeah.
let's
it. I already
not.
made a video on
Back
it.
to
But yeah, let's get
Gachiakuta.
back to the Gachiakuta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, good chapter, man. Just seeing Folo, this backstory, it's cool. I like the fits. I kept when the other kid comes up that eats the snow, I'm like, is this like I feel like he looks just like someone, and I feel like I'm dumb for not knowing who. Like, is this guy drawing any number like names for you guys?
I don't know if we've seen this guy before,
I,
if that's what
I
you're
don't think
saying.
so.
Okay,
I don't think
okay.
so.
So maybe he is someone who just exists in Folo's past, and maybe he dies from this incident or something.
That's how it seems like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he has to, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless
Maybe
he's unless he's
this.
some big shot cleaner in one of the other branches.
Or maybe we're supposed to think that he dies in this flashback because Folo assumes that he did, and then he comes back into the story in the present time, like later, in like a
What if he ends
crazy
up
way.
being a new member of the Raiders?
Oh God, I can
Oh
definitely see
Lord.
that too. But it's just cool
That or
seeing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say maybe he gets into the cleaners and like he is the person that brings like Folo along. Like he becomes a big shot and he's just like, oh yeah, Folo, I heard you wanted to join. You got the stuff, and Folo's like, yeah, please let me join because I get no bitches. And like I need the glory or whatever. Help, let me join because he seems to just want to do like whatever. He just wants to be cool, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's like you got a
I think
character like Rudo who has the personality that he does and makes the decisions that he does in like any given situation that are like starkly opposed to like how Folo would like handle things, and like seeing some of those characteristics inside of this flashback, role model or rival or whatever this kid is supposed to represent inside of the flashback, juxtaposed to Folo or whatever. It's like, man, like they're underneath they're in an igloo, like trying not to get touched by these snowflakes, and bro comes around the corner with his mouth open, just like eating them casually. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And he goes and joins the givers and whatnot, and it's just like, man, so this is the kind of person that I want to be, but I just don't have these qualities inside of myself that would push me to do something so risky and daring as putting on a fucking luchador mask that doesn't protect my nose and mouth and going
Oh
into
my god.
noxious atmosphere fearlessly. It's like that's what separates me from who I am and the person that I think that I want to be, and like to see that again in a character like Rudo, to like make him remember like why he started this journey in the first place. It's just like, man, getting the context for all of that like makes especially my previous criticisms when I was really roasting this nigga a couple chapters ago. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh man, okay, I kind of get it now. But I still think that his dialogue was buns on purpose because of the gloves. So,
Yeah.
so like, I'm not, backpedaling all the way back.
I
But
mean,
like,
Ruto isn't. I mean, he is insane.
yeah, I mean,
Kind of.
it just gives him like a lot more pathos than I thought that he was going to get, and I feel a lot like sorrier for him now
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I'm getting the
Also-
flashback, and that's what it's for. So, good job, K.
Also,
on
let's
it,
just
as
be-
usual.
Also, it'd be hilarious if that kid was just like secretly super really strong once if he unlocks his powers, because technically by the laws of that world he should have been dead being in that in that hazard zone for
Yeah, that's
so
saying something,
long.
isn't it? Yeah, like I feel like
Yeah, that's saying something, being
I
able to
guess.
survive a hazardous zone
Yeah, you're
for so long
you're eating
and
the
escaping trash beasts without any help whatsoever.
you're eating the asbestos snow. You're putting on the luchador mask and going into crazy contaminated areas. Like you should have
Yeah.
been dead probably. And the fact that
Yeah.
he's not like says a lot about his constitution at least. So
Mhm.
maybe that does become a thing later.
True.
Yeah. I can see
Well,
that. It'd be cool if he does end up becoming like a giver or something. What you gonna say, we
No, I was gonna say exactly what you said actually.
okay. So you think what you think about Folo? You think he's gonna become a giver after this? After these first 2 pages, and then we see his backstory. You think something's gonna happen? He's gonna awaken and become a giver here, or
Awaken
is
the
he?
hammer, dude.
Yeah, he's
But I
just
mean,
fucking
like
dead.
in
The
this
power of
situation,
Mjolnir.
dude, that would be fucking crazy if it just turned into
I
like,
would love it. I would be so dumb and I would freaking love it.
or it turns into like maybe not even Mjolnir.
Oh
'cause
no, it
that's-
actually fits.
Yeah,
It
it
actually
could.
fits because he'll be able to wield the hammer that he is now worthy of.
Yeah, no, it definitely would hit. But I'm thinking of like, man, it could be Yarnbjorn too. It could be like it turned into because it's like kind of like a half hammer, like half like pickaxe. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like, there's a couple ways that it could go. I think that Mjolnir is like where you think so because we know it as a hammer, but I can see it like becoming kind of axey as well. But anyway, it would be awkward, I think, if he did suddenly become a giver in this situation because there's no enemy left,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just for the sake of going like, holy shit, I'm a giver now, awesome, and then we like move on. Like normally you'd put that in a situation where the enemy is still running rampant and like we need that power, and that makes it like a little bit more hype, I want to say,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
moment like
It
that
actually makes me-
versus what we have now.
Yeah. No. I mean, this also makes me wonder with the emphasis of how Folo is like bringing into being a giver. You think this will lead us into like getting a bit more context as to how specifically people become givers, or like any like real signs or nuances outside of the fact that they are just givers, outside of them having like connection to an object, like what makes them a giver and all that, like if there's like a constitution or a mindset that it has to be, or a certain level of affection or whatever.
I think if it happened, if he does become like a giver, like I could see it actually being a case where it's like, damn, like he becomes a giver, but he still dies here, and it's like on his
Mhm.
in his last moments, like he always wanted to be a giver, and like right before you die, congrats, bro. And then like we get like narration that says like how people normally become givers, what the situation is normally like, but like for Folo's case, he was pushed
Wow.
to the limits, and he's fucking cooked, and like fucking the sparks of black fucking shows him in the last moment, but it was too late type shit.
Died with a smile on his face, at
Yeah.
peace.
Like, congrats. You finally got what you asked for, but it's too late and it's all good. But, at least you go into the afterlife knowing that you were a giver.
Hmm. And once this flashback ends, I can't wait to see more Monster House.
Well, I think the monster house is cooked. They ran into that
I don't-
pillar. It might be dead.
It it might be, but you never know. I don't. It might not have hit its core.
Yeah, maybe there's something left
Yeah.
there.
I
Like
don't
a
remember.
kid.
Did you guys did you guys bring it up, like the fact that that house literally looks like the Monster House, that old like stop motion animated Halloween movie?
I don't even think I
No.
know what that is.
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh man, you guys,
What's it
you
called?
guys missed out
Monster
as
House
kids.
stop motion.
Yeah,
Let me see.
Not
yeah, that
familiar.
movie was insane growing up. They put I don't know, I think they put it on Cartoon Network growing up. But yeah, I mean, like I feel like it didn't feel like it ended that whole trash piece. I don't think it
Oh,
ended
I think
like
I
conclusively.
yeah, I think I kind of remember this. Damn, did I
Yeah,
watch this?
I think most people
Oh
watched
my
it.
god, I think I did and just completely forgot about it.
I did until I saw a post somebody literally mentioned it, like comparing the trash piece from this arc to that. I'm like, oh my god, it fits
Yeah.
so well. But yeah, I mean,
I feel
anyway,
like we've seen monster houses in like a lot of shit though. Like, ain't there like
yeah,
something
but I
like
feel
that
like
in
the
like
exact
Nightmare?
way it was
Ain't there something like that in like Nightmare Before Christmas too?
I think so.
maybe.
Yeah.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been made by like some of the same creative team. I don't know,
Okay. You mean
but
like Tim
Maybe.
Burton?
yeah,
Yeah, Tim
yeah,
Burton.
I think so. I think so.
I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
Monster House was
No,
Tim
no,
Burton. I mean, we could
no,
easily
not Tim
Google it.
Burton. I feel like just like the same like the same like studio maybe. Anyway, I just got sidetracked again, but I I'm for now until the flashback's over. I'm sticking to the fact that maybe like the trash beast wasn't fully defeated. Like we might not have hit its core. So I feel like if anything's gonna happen
Yeah.
with Polo, it's gonna be after this flashback, and we'll get a conclusion to this little arc leading up to the puppet festival.
Yeah, if yeah, the core thing you do got a good point, but I just feel like Folo is not fucking getting back involved in anything for a
I-
minute
Yeah,
if
probably
he's
not
not
for a little
dead.
while. Yeah,
If he survives, like I don't see him getting up and like finishing off the trash piece or anything of the
no.
sort. Like he's laid out. They're gonna have to fucking call the paramedics and get a stretcher down there for his ass. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. His
Hmm.
his like health doesn't really
He's at 1%.
yeah,
yeah. They
like
gotta
it
do the you
yeah.
know when people go like cave diving or something and they get hurt, and they gotta fucking like get the helicopter, like lower the fucking
Yeah.
stretcher down for him. Like they gotta
Yeah.
they gotta lower some shit to get his ass up out of, because he's down in like a fucking crevice. He's he's down in a fucking canyon. He can't just
Oh,
they can't just crawl down there and get him.
Rudo
Hmm.
still got
The net.
the jellyfish net out, right? Yeah, the
Yeah.
jellyfishing net. He could probably grab him with that.
Or Tamsi.
Maybe if he could extend it.
Oh,
Yeah, Tamsy could
Tamsy
probably get
got
him.
him.
Yeah.
God damn it, of course.
Yeah.
Tamsy gonna get him but drop him and be like, oh snap.
Oops.
Oops. Damn it,
Oh
Rudo. You
man,
know
I
I
should
didn't
have
do
done
it on
that.
purpose, Rudo.
Oh no,
Yeah,
dude.
Rudo. I didn't do that on purpose.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I can
But
see it now.
yeah, I can see it.
I see it.
It happens in a way that he like means to do it, but Rudo catches it, and it's like you could definitely say it was a mistake. Like everyone else, like the other people, like greasing the girl there, like Rudo, it was a mistake. Tamsy didn't mean it, but Rudo saw that Tamsy meant to drop. He's like, I clearly saw you just let go. He didn't slip, type of deal.
Oh my god, Tamsi is Hisoka.
Yeah, same shit. But
Yikes.
But yeah, fucking this chapter definitely shows that Folo, like he's always wanted to be cool, but he's definitely also always been on that shit where he's like, you only ever want to hang out with me to talk about that guy. And she's like, huh? He's like, yeah, nah, I've been
Mm,
doing some push-ups and shit trying to get me straight.
Swole.
Yeah. But he definitely cares about his homie, it seems like, because he's rushing out here, and
Hmm.
he had this role model like kid, and he got saved. Kid got saved by the cleaners. So one thing about this one picture with the cleaners, where it's like, I fucking ran into some trash beast. I thought I was gonna die in the cleaners. The people were posting. This is another one of those fucking reread moments. People were posting a picture from the trash beast arc when they were inside the trash beast, and
With
Corvus,
Zodal and
not
the
Corvus.
Raiders.
Yeah, Zod on the Raiders, and remember they had that like fucking pod or battery or something that had a bunch of like hands chopped off that were like holding axes and stuff. People were thinking that
Yeah.
this kid on the right with the axe is one of them.
Yeah, I think I saw that tweet, but then there were like certain aesthetic differences in
Yeah,
the axes in the panel
Hmm.
from that Zodal arc with the Raiders versus here in this flashback chapter.
yeah.
So
So that's what I said too. But remember the items transform when you like activate
activate
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it might be one of those axes just like in their powered down form.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can see that then.
Yeah,
Mm,
but just wanted
possibilities there.
to bring that up. I still just, when I saw it, I was like, okay, that axe is definitely like a bigger blade with a longer handle than what like it looks like. But You
We've
never know.
definitely seen like foreshadowing of that style in series before, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm not going to be a hater and be like, they're reaching, bro. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's just so easy to be like proven wrong like later in the series, especially in a story like Gachiakuta that already has like really high reread value.
yeah,
So like, yeah, I'll wait for that. That sounds legit
yeah.
right now.
They definitely be foreshadowing shit on purpose,
Yeah.
and we'll probably see some of these
But-
other characters like dude with this funky scythe or whatever.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, good chapter. It's always nice to see the kids. Young Follow was a cute kid. Shucks that he had to turn out this way.
Shucks.
Yeah, end up at the bottom of a fucking ravine or whatever. But
Yeah. He'll be
hope,
alright.
hope for the walk that shit off, bro. Back in the day, bro. Back in the day, you back in
It's
like
an
fucking
adult.
what, like back when I was like 10, I get this kind of injury, my fucking grandparents would be like, bro, it'd be alright, dog. Just get up and just shake it off. or some
Man
shit.
up.
dog. Yeah, like that. People.
My
back in the day, you
ankles
get these
are
kinda
broken.
injuries.
My ribs are broken.
Yeah, and they hit you with some shit. Like back when I was a kid, I used to have to walk in the hurricane to get to school. It's like, dog, come
Yeah.
on, bro.
Just
You ain't do
just
that.
go lay down and drink some ginger ale. You'll be all right. Like laying down
Yeah.
is not medicine, mom.
Yeah, so you'll walk it off, bro. When that shit happened to me when I was a kid, I used to pull tree bark off and wrap it around my leg, and that's how we heal. It's like, dog, no, you didn't.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Uphill both
it-
ways.
Yeah, somebody definitely gonna tell Folo to walk it off. Yeah, walk it off down there, man. Get up. Come on, bro. Stop playing. But nah, I think that's it for me for this chapter. What about you, Knots?
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Weep.
Yeah, I'm all good.
All right, freshly squeezed. That's going to do it for Gachiakuta 124. Me too. Now jumping into Ichi the Witch, chapter 19, 19th Hunt, Magic Circle. And I like it. I like it a lot. Was not expecting to go here, after last week's chapter ended with Discaris, flexing, showing the moves, but it does make sense. And I feel like it is a perfect way to not show everything Discaris has in her bag, and also show that like she put up a good fight with the world hater magic without like either one of them losing.
Yeah,
or
made him
whatever.
bounce is good enough.
Yeah, and it's like that's something that I was definitely predicting, like when this character showed up, because it's like, okay, if he's not gonna die and like he doesn't straight up kill Ichi, he puts Ichi in a situation where he can't fight anymore. He warped him, and fucking Discaris had to heal him, put him in some sort of like rehab, bubble or whatever to get his body straight. Ichi's been out cold for however long, but like he just goes, I had a feeling he was gonna be on some shit like, oh, I'm not interested in you anymore. I want to like fuck with that other kid when he's straight again. I'll see him later or something. But it's kind of happens in that way. But he's like, yeah, I'm out. Fuck
Especially
y'all.
when we know that, like you were saying, it's like you don't introduce, a villain or an antagonist or, an opposing force like the god magic, and then just vanquish him or like beat him or like outright, kill him or acquire him, like after the first conflict, you know what I mean? So like we know, like we read enough stories to know that it had to end in some kind of stalemate where he would leave. So it's all about, the execution of how you're going to show that inevitability, in the week to week progress of the storytelling. You know what I mean? Like we everybody that was reading this shit knew that the god magic wasn't going to win and kill the whole cast. We knew that we weren't going to like defeat it or acquire the magic after like one fight or whatever. So, the way that it was kind of like executed has to make sense, like since we're anticipating it, but it also has to be like creative and like have elements that were, like unpredictable, and like going into the inner domain inside of Ichi's, like mind or whatever, to have this conversation with all of the magics that he's acquired so far was a really interesting and like unexpected way to do it, and then kind of like showing
hilarious,
and showing like the kind of flashback of what transpired without, like you were saying, showing the entire fight, so that there is still like much more to be explored with Discaris on a hype level later on in the story for her character. I think everything just works so well in the layout of this chapter, and it's just
I just wish we saw more of the fight before cutting away, but hey,
we know that we didn't exactly. We know we didn't. We couldn't. You can't just dump out the whole bag for Discaris, like before chapter 30. Yeah, at least
appetizer.
Like, yeah,
and then when we finally get to see
we
her,
got a good appetizer. Like we were.
Yeah,
we got some hors d'oeuvres. G. Like we got the. You know, we got multiple like really interesting, crazy, strong magics from Discaris in the previous chapter. And, you know, we have Toga Ice coming in here with the newly acquired, you know, mushroom magic that she got from this.
She was probably lost.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, like this chapter just was so good and did so many things well, and it's just like further cementing, you know, the fact that this creative team was always going to be, you know, what we thought they were going to produce, like when the series was first announced. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is a pillar, you know, of Weekly Shonen Jump in the making right now.
Yeah, and Volume 1's still selling very well. It's still in the top 50 of weekly sales, despite it not despite it not having that many reprints.
Yeah, I think it's got another reprint coming, but like
I think so. Yeah,
it's
still
definitely a
doing very well.
series. Yeah, it's definitely a series that's going to do well. Like I have no doubt
Yeah.
in my mind that this is not going to be like a new mainstay, big fucking seller and Jump.
Oh no, I think at this point, with how early we are into this series, I do feel it shows all the signs of it just being one of the next mainstays of the series of the magazine. Jump would have to be like literally crazy for them not to keep this series in the magazine until they're finished, because look, we're all like very conditioned by Shonen Jump for any promising series or series with interesting concepts to be like between chapters 20 and 50, usually you'll see a series just get axed regardless of how much it shows that they still need time to grow. But Ichi, it instantly just feels like something different. It already feels like it's gonna just stay here for the long haul.
Yeah. It's also just, it's like not one of those series where like, you know, every now and then Jump will have a series and it's like, yeah, a lot of people will like it on Twitter, you know, like a lot of people like fucking like Phantom Seer or whatever, but like, you know, you got half of the fan base is like it's gonna get axed. You know, half of the people that read Jump or whatever, like it's gonna get axed, and the other half are like, you know, I really like it. It's a good series and it should stay.
That's not happening here. Everybody unanimously just knows that this is here for the long haul.
Yeah. We don't have anyone
that's Reddit knows. They can feel it in their bones.
Yeah, no one's like trying to convince the other side, like, no, it's good. Like, you should read it. It's gonna stay. It's like everyone knows it's not going nowhere. This shit is here to stay. Just before we really jump more into this chapter, I just wanted to touch back on last chapter. Axel Ablaze, shout out to him. He actually counted. I didn't think to do it, but he counted the gems on this page with the scars. Like, who knows, lost count. And so it's I think it was 25 gems. So she has at least 25, but also her scabbard has 8. So it looks like she has at least 33 gems of magics that she's captured, but she probably has more. It's just we only see 33 here. But in combat, like in the field, we've seen her use like 6 now, because remember she used 1 or 2 in like chapter 1 or 2 when she fought Ororo, and then when she taught Ichi the like healing spell or whatever. Like she used like 2 or 3 in the first like 2 chapters, and then versus this magic she used like 4. So like we know, you know, she has a bag, like the Abyssal Witch, she has that shit. And so it's impressive that she was able to, you know, this guy without knowing his trial, you know, you can't beat him, but like she was able to make him admit like, yeah, you are actually as strong as you say you are. Like that's big shit for somebody who's like known as, you know, a god in this universe.
Yeah. And, also, let's just be honest, it was a hard panel when we just cut to like the scars being actually like, you know, kind of seeming like she's being pushed, like looking like she was being pushed and got some damage, and then instantly cut to, oh, the one that she's fighting is holding their own severed head. So it shows she did a good amount of damage despite him like being like, okay, not bad, I'm impressed.
I'm really like the thing I missed the most from like us not seeing the rest of the fight is like how this magic fights. Like what does it do to attack? Because like Discaris has like probably an unlimited amount of things that she could throw at it, but like how did it, like, was it punching her? Did it hit her with its staff? Like how did she get like the bruise on her face? How did her hair come untied?
Yeah, because all we've seen him do is just like warp shit. So it's like, where does this damage come from if she's not getting hit by warp attacks?
Yeah,
you know what? It would be interesting if he like since him leaving, he's like, at some point, I am going to just destroy the world as I just keep warping people, things, and places. Imagine like, imagine like if he warped magics, he would gain their abilities. Imagine if you
Mm,
imagine a magic being capable of using other magic's abilities.
Yeah, I wonder
Just
how
um,
that would
just to
like work mechanically.
yeah, that's like I feel like that this would be like a potential thing to happen because, like you said, we don't know how they fight and how they utilize their warping ability. Because based off of how we've seen warp being done, it's been done in like different ways. Because primarily in anime and manga, when people say warp, it's usually like like teleportation or a wormhole a lot of the times. Like, and we've seen
a lot
that
of times.
in his fights. Yeah, and we've seen this magic use like warping holes, but he's warped the landscapes, warped things inside out, misshaped things, and all that. And
Yeah.
let's not forget, he literally summoned all those like death angel things that were warping the world in that instance, and also creating a literal giant bone cage.
That's what makes me like think like how is it going to make sense for his ability to go from doing that to like using the abilities of other magics?
Like
Because
my
it's
thing,
like that's just like
it could be
so
like
different
the
than.
interpretation. It could be the interpretation of like warping something.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, brother. But like
Yeah, no.
I
Look, I
mean
just
we don't know
look.
the
I just
future is what I'll say.
look.
So
Undead Unluck just finished, and how they did their powers. That's still like in my head
yeah,
for
okay.
like interpretations of shit. So I'm just
I
applying that to this
I
now.
was
Sure.
definitely waiting for like a chance to say like I can see it being an undead unluck thing where he warps like maybe he comes in contact with a magic and warps like their interpretation of what like their trial is and whatever, and he makes it something that he can complete or whatever, or he just like warps their mind so that like yeah, my trial is now, instead of you having to eat 3 hot Cheetos, now you just got to brush my hair to beat me or some shit. So like he
Uh,
can just change like
Yeah.
what their thing is, but I don't know if I can see. I don't know. Like I guess I could see it, but like I don't know if I don't know how I feel about a magic using like not like this guy particular. Maybe like there would be a magic whose ability is like abusing other magics I could see, but I don't know about like God guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this manga. The possibilities are endless.
yeah.
Definitely for sure. Yeah, I just want to know like does he do throw punches? Like we haven't seen him like
I
throw
guess
hands, so
I
it's like
guess a way that Descaris could have racked up these bruises and the damage that we see around this chapter is like he does have telekinesis like style shit, so he could have just been like tossing her around the battlefield
Yeah,
with telekinesis and
okay,
not like directly warping her.
yeah, but that's the
okay.
boring answer.
Yeah, I
I
guess
mean, it works though. I mean, if he
depends on how
threw
the
her into a
choreography
boulder,
is laid out. Honestly,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind it, like it, because I just want to know, how does she have these bruises on her face? How is her hair out? It's like if only thing we've seen is him like warping things, it like doesn't really make sense. But he did lift Ichi up from the ground, so yeah, he does have the telekinesis.
he
yeah.
warps the air. The air
Yeah, but could he do that same thing to warp the air and send the scars flying? Like, is that
could
a
be
I
thing? It's like
guess.
blue and purple Gojo
warp the
type
properties
shit.
of the air to create a current.
Yeah, shockwave or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. I am really glad to see Togeki's here. We've been talking about, is she gonna show up? And she did, and
We
she
knew
used,
she
yeah,
was.
she immediately used the mushroom magic, Marcel Vane, and
Yeah.
fucking, dropped a fucking combo attack with Discaris here. She like ignited the Marcelium or whatever, fucking blew up the
Yeah.
mushroom cloud and set dude on fire. Yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with what we got here with the Discaris and Ichi. I mean, I wish we got a name for dude, man. Like something
just
besides
world
World
hater
Hater.
magic.
Yeah, so like I wonder. I can't remember which is like the tier and what's like the title because like that I feel like in like One Punch Man they had like dragon level threats and it was like there were multiple like bad guys in that tier. Disaster threats. So it's like is is he the God magic and he is in the tier of world haters, so there's more world haters, or is he in a tier of God magics and there's more God magics? So it's like I want to see more of the people like around his level if there are others And I mean, other than that, it's just nice that we got kind of a reset. So like Ichi wakes up in the bed, and so he lost the competition, so he's probably going to class next chapter.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. We haven't brought up yet Uroro's very ominous warning to Ichi
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that he'll be a sacrifice, and to ask the Scaris because it's her job to tell him this shit. So I'm curious what that means.
I definitely got Yuji sacrifice vibes off of that. People might
Mm.
not like to hear it because people were also saying the Discaris and Gojo thing, which now that like Discaris has like, I guess not lost, but like didn't win. Like, yeah, she's not exactly like Gojo. There's aspects to her character that's similar, but like I definitely feel like telling the main character that he's a sacrifice is like that's literally what Yuji was. Like the plan was for Yuji to eat the fingers, and then like we were gonna kill him. That was on paper, that was the plan. So it's like maybe a similar thing is like being planned for Ichi's future. It's like they'll get him to eat a bunch of magics and then fucking use him to draw out the fucking the god hater, world hater magic, and then sacrifice him to kill it somehow, some way, or whatever.
Yeah, that's that's where I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, because it's like sacrifices. You know, we don't get many main characters that are told that they're a sacrifice or like that they know.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of my story, at the end of my life, I'm going to die. You know, not to
and
age.
we're in the inner domain.
Yeah.
I
There's
like that so much.
There's a couple similarities
Yeah.
here that I didn't really think about. Yeah, but
I love
straight.
that. I love that all of Ichi's magics that he's acquired so far, just treating Uroro like a king and pampering him. I just find that hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of like they like like what you think of like what's the inside of a Pokeball like.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the box, the PC.
Yeah, like are they partying in there, man? Like, can
Yeah.
let me in, bro? What y'all doing?
Robot
Fucking
Chicken
poking
did
strippers?
Robot Chicken did
Yeah.
a funny ass skit about that where like Pikachu's like in a nightclub with like gold chains and like Chardonnay and like bad Pikachu bitches bouncing ass around him in a hot tub. And then he's like, all right, oh shit. He's like doing like lines of like cocaine and like taking shots, and then like he's like, oh shit, I gotta go back to work again. Like tosses the fucking girl Pikachu off of his lap and like smacks his face and like shakes his head. He's like, all right, showtime, baby, and like comes out of the Pokeball and it's just like a buff ass Charizard, and he's like got bags under his eyes, like strung out and hung over, like looking at Ash, like, bro, what the fuck? Like, use lightning bolt, Pikachu. He's like, nigga, it's a Charizard.
Yeah.
Yes, a Charizard because it's flying.
Yeah.
I just like that they all bonded in there in that world. It's cute.
Yeah, it makes you wonder like what Discaris looks like. It's probably like 100 of these motherfuckers in there. Like, I guess when they get into this area, like I guess it's kind of like domesticating them or whatever. So like they're not angry. I mean, they go and they say like get the fuck out of here. The power of magic compels you. But I don't think they don't hate them or whatever. Or maybe they do. I don't know. But like Uroro is obviously gonna talk shit. But like
Yeah.
like is it chill inside of all these areas or like people
Probably
get
depends
into
on the magics.
yeah, and like I guess he says it happens when you get knocked out. So like if you knock out Discara, she just goes in there. I wonder if she's ever even been in here. Like has she ever been knocked out? She's the strongest, most greatest, most powerful, elegant, beautiful witch. So like has she even seen her inner circle? Questions that need
Probably.
answers. Probably.
Really.
But yeah, she was definitely looking good this chapter. The wiping the blood off her face and like that fucking when the TV first came on and just every page, man. She looking fine. Yeah, I like her.
baby.
I like her with the hair down and everything. She good looking girl, man. I like it a lot.
Yeah, even with the damage on her, still giving supermodel.
Yeah, real
Very
queen
true.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
But dude just rubbing it off, and he sees that like they got the people out of there, and he's like fucking despicable. Like he's just disgusted. His plans were thwarted, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking out, bro. Like I ain't got time for this shit. Y'all
I'm
ruined
gonna
my
go
fun."
warp a different region. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't
Yeah.
catch up with me. Like I got like time space. Like I can travel way farther. You guys won't be able to catch up with me. I'm gonna go warp over here. And I'll be back to get y'all another time. Either way, I'm gonna eat the rest of this world up, regardless of what y'all talking about.
he really feels like one of the legendary Pokemon that you encounter like in the wild too, or like
Mhm.
Lycaon from like Shangri-La Frontiers. Like I appear, I warp, I leave. That's it. Like you just encounter him, and like if you're unfortunate enough to be like where he is, like fucking toast to you, bro. GG's.
Yeah.
Sorry that your life sucks, but like it don't seem like something where he's a character that like you're gonna be able to go find, unless he's got some sort of Fortress of Solitude type area and he just warps out when he wants to. But like
Yeah,
fucking,
I
he
mean,
just
and as far as his motivations go, like, is he gonna have like, a backstory that explains why he's like this? Probably not. This is just in his nature as this kind of magic, you know what I mean? And that is probably all the explanation that we're going to get. I mean, anything's possible. The dude can receive any kind of writing, that
yeah.
that Osamu Nishi kind of like wants to give him, obviously. But I mean, like, if that's all it really is on like a motivation level, it's like that's totally fine. I wonder if like the Sukuna's a bad villain because no backstory and no explanation for motivations or whatever crowd is going to keep that same energy with this.
Oh yeah, I can
Because this
see
is
it.
just another example of a dude just being a son of a bitch for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just who this nigga is. Like,
Yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason for it. This is just his existence.
yeah,
And
he's
what it's
just
like. Yeah, and that's fine,
kind of like
obviously.
Mahito, where he literally is just the fucking manifestation of like human hate. It's like
Exactly.
he don't got no sad backstory.
Doesn't need one.
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know?
yeah. So just makes me
I just
wonder,
remember
like,
those complaints, and it's just like, oh my god, read more shit, please.
yeah. Luckily, this one isn't meathead, so I think we're safe for a lot of those fucking stupid comments
But
and
I mean, the
complaints that.
popularity is going to skyrocket, especially
Oh yeah,
after
for
like an
sure.
anime adaptation, and like the bigger a series gets,
Yeah.
the more undesirables are going to put it under their radar, and there's just like so many people inside of the community that live for just telling people that the series they like isn't as good as they think it is. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of whether or not they even believe in the criticism, they just like to cause havoc like that. And I just wonder
Yeah,
what kind of like ass takes are gonna come out, for Ichi the Witch as the popularity grows.
for sure.
Of
Definitely
men
once
just
the
want to watch the
anime.
world burn type
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Once the anime drops, you're gonna hear all kinds of shit that nobody's ever said before about just how this is just the worst Magic series ever. There's actually Manga Plus published a couple of interviews today from mangaka and Osamu Nishi and Usazaki were some of the ones that got interviewed, and they talked about this series. And somebody commented under a tweet about it, because somebody, I think it was like Shonen Salto or something, and he was like talking about who their inspirations was, and somebody immediately like responded. It was like, wow, surprised they didn't include JJK or Black Clover as some of their inspirations. And I typed out a tweet like 2 lines, and I was like, you know what, fuck this dude, and I just deleted it. I was
It's
like, I
just
don't
not
got the
worth
energy
it.
for it, bro.
Dude, I'd be
Yeah.
typing out paragraphs and deleting them over, and I'm just like, dude, why even
Yeah,
give the energy? Like, regardless of how good Ichi the Witch is gonna end up being, you're gonna see some fucking thread like a couple years from now where it's like, oh, this is the series you guys are all hyping up. Well, here's why it's not as good as you think it is. Thanks for the engagement.
yeah,
And
it's
Oh
that's
my
almost
god.
just all it
I just got
is.
I just
Yeah,
got flashbacks to this one guy that just made like a multi tweet thread about why free reign is bad. And it even
yeah.
said that free reign is like your classic power fantasy isekai. And I'm like,
Cool, man.
my
You're such a
holy
revolutionary
oh my
thinker, bro. I
god.
can't believe I didn't notice how ass this shit was. Thank God we got people
Look,
like you in the discussion space, bro. What would we do without?
yeah, I no longer like this thing anymore thanks to your tweet, bro.
Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much, bro. You
Just
changed my
what pisses
life,
me off is
dude.
that there's actually people that would wholeheartedly believe like people like that. I'm like, how? Why? I don't
it's a
know.
lot of
It
it's a
makes
lot
me.
of idiots out here.
I'm.
Yeah.
I that's the one thing I don't like about how anime and manga became more mainstream, is it just increased. It just made more of these types of people that are chronically online more prominent in people's feeds.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just people like being stupid on the internet, but they got to bring back internet bullying, man. Like that's the problem. We don't have any cyberbullying. People just say whatever they want and get their likes and laughs and retweets, and that's it. Next banger, let's get it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, Ichi the Witch, we are cooking. I can't wait for the anime. My thing is like, I feel like I really want people who get into this series to also like dip their toe in Iruma, because I feel like that would also just kind of really show you a lot for like this author's like writing style. And
Yeah,
it
I
like
gotta
I
catch up
don't
in Aroma.
yeah, I don't have like any complaints just because I feel like I kind of have an idea of like how they write, and I know everything's gonna work out in the end.
I'm excited.
Yeah, but good chapter. It
Yeah.
looks like the world hater magic felt that Ichi said one day I'll hunt you or whatever, because Ichi's like looking through the TV and says excuse me, one day I'll hunt you, I swear, and it smiles before it zips off into its fucking portal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the sacrifice. Like after that, he's like, hey kid, you're gonna end up a sacrifice. And it's like maybe it's just like as bait for the world hater. Like they're gonna fucking
Could be.
they're gonna put you up on a fucking pedestal or something and put you somewhere and threaten to kill you if the world hater doesn't show its face, because like it probably wants to be the one to kill you or something. I don't know. The first person ever to not die to its magic immediately. It probably wants to kill. Hate to do it again, but it's probably another Sukuna situation where it's like it fought Gojo and it couldn't kill Gojo immediately. It is like, bro, what? First thing I do when I get back is killing you, dog.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
maybe the world hater, it like first thing it wants to do when it comes back is like kill Ichi and fucking discard. It's like, you guys, nobody can kill y'all until I kill y'all type shit.
Yeah.
So I can see it. But I think we covered just about everything. Cool inside space, Ichi, in the fucking inner zone, discards, all that good stuff, combo attacks. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to school next, and I look forward to Ichi's next adventure.
Same Z's.
Yeah,
All right.
me too.
You got anything else for chapter 19, Weeb?
No, I don't today.
All right, nice.
I think I'm all squeezed out.
All right, freshly squeezed, Ichi the Witch, chapter 19, 19th Hunt, Magic Circle, that'll do it. Now jumping into Astro Royale, chapter 38, versus Hachiku.
Keyword
Nox,
ass.
Oh.
Capital ass. No, I'm kidding. Man, I'm starting. Okay. I mean, the chapter was. I don't know, like, if I want to say like the chapter was fine, or if I want to say it just like wasn't doing it for me. I guess I'm just gonna say both. But
yeah,
It was alright.
I feel like the end was good.
Yeah, I had a lot of
Notes?
maybe not a no. I don't have any notes. I don't have any notes at all for this shit. But I think after last chapter, I had a little bit more hope for like what the next chapter would be, and maybe I like put like too much expectation into, like how, of it coming back into like a higher quality, or at least like, a way to wait, because like this shit did used to speak to me, you know what I mean, like, and we've been saying it like for a while now in our reviews, like the arc before the last one was just like so good, and then the next arc was bad, and it was like this next one better be good, you know what I mean, and like after last chapter I was like, oh shit, are we getting back to that point, so maybe I just like put too much faith in it, and then that's like affecting my ability to like enjoy this chapter for what it was. I don't know if it's more on me or if it's actually like on Ken Wakui and what the story is actually doing, but it just felt so much more like bare bones than I thought the rest of this fight would be after last chapter. I guess I think I let that hype like MC like dialogue moment from the last chapter like hype me up a little bit too much, because like what ended up happening was just like, okay, well that's your ability, well this is my ability, let's clash them, oop, I won, here's your brother, off we go, like it just feels so like not.
I owe you one now.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like
I guess they're saving it maybe like because my thing is like I really like especially after last chapter where I was like, okay, this is cool. I think I wanted it to be a more like tiring fight where it comes down to like maybe they fight for like another 2 chapters and it comes down to like one guy throwing a punch and being tired, and the other guy throws a punch and it's like I'm not going to be the guy to fall down, and both contestants are exhausted, but it really was just like, okay, I'm resolved to this, and my move, I know your move, let's both throw our big attacks, and whoever wins. But I guess it's because like I like the thing that I was wanting probably would only work if like each round is the end of the day, so like after this Hibaru would like get to rest for the day and he doesn't possibly have a fight. But I guess if the next 2 or 3 fights go by fast, Hibaru might be fighting in 30 minutes. So it's like if they got a day to take a break, then I can see it ending with people like fucking bleeding and tired and barely can throw a punch. But maybe that'll happen with the last fight. The final one, it'll come down
Yeah.
to some Yu Yu Hakusho. Like I can barely move my arms, but like I got
Knife
still
edge
punch type
deathmatch
shit.
shit.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
wanted to see
Oh,
something
I
like
love
that.
I love that.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
that Chew fight was so gas.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I got big fucking what was Hiei's Black Flame Dragon
Dragon
vibes
of
off
the
of this.
Darkness
Dragon of the
Flame.
Darkness Flame.
Bro, like when dude does that in this chapter, I was like, okay, vibes, swaggy, okay, that's what I like to see. And then like
Good art.
it just becomes big double page spread for an attack that throws dude out of the ring, and then it's just like I'll help you out, I'll save your brother or whatever. Which the end is cool. I think him throwing the flame up there and saying "fuck all y'all" was dope. But I don't know. I just feel like they could have threw more hands.
Yeah, and like this chapter is clearly trying to like highlight like the charisma of Hibaru, you know what I mean? And like he's definitely got that like Luffy style quality where like he attracts those around him, like friend or foe, you know what I mean? You can't help but be inspired by like his tenacity and his personality and like what he represents and whatnot, and the chapter is good for that. But like as far as the actual like storytelling of the tournament itself, it just feels like very like lame and lacking to me. As far as like I don't know, I guess I kind of just want like more character writing outside of Hibaru is great and look at how great he is. You know what I mean? Like I wanted a little bit more depth, if not in the combat, then like maybe in like his opponent. You know what I mean? Because he basically just says like, "Damn, you guys are all pieces of shit in the underworld, huh?" And it's like, yeah, well, we're Yakuza, so duh, and fight me, and then like abilities clash, and I win, and like, oh man, Hibaru, you're so cool, you saved me, bro. And like him grabbing dude's ability and like throwing it at the at the tournament runners or whatever, at the Yakuza like organization heads, and then like teleporting up there, grabbing dude and like running back with them. It's just like I understand like what it's all for, but it just like feels like it's just all happens so fast and so like I don't know, man. It's just like not doing it for me, and I don't know exactly like how to articulate my thought. Like maybe I should have taken notes if I was going to be complaining like this. Maybe I should have thought about it a little bit more so it doesn't just sound like I'm just like wah wah, this shit's lame. But like at the end of the day, it's just like, man, it's not speaking to me the way I want it to, man. And I know Ken Wakui's got what I'm saying I want from the story in him as a writer, and maybe this just isn't the kind of story where he delivers on like those things that were just so good to me in Tokyo Revengers or whatever, because it's like a completely different kind of story. But it's just like I don't know, man, maybe my expectations are just too high or something. I don't know.
This is probably just like his first like actual tournament arc, and he probably just doesn't have a good way and how to like good idea of how to like format it and pace it so far, because it's like about a chapter and a half. We got more or less almost 2 chapters for a fight, but it was barely much of a fight, save for a few blows thrown around in the way, like you mentioned, how the fight essentially ended and with how this chapter ended up going about. It's just it's just weird pacing. I think that's what this arc so far, despite it just starting, just feels like it has like kind of awkward pacing. For all we know, a binge read will probably like feel better, but like as of right now, it just I just think it's like wonky pacing.
Yeah,
Hopefully
I
it
think I
picks up.
agree with
Hopefully it
that,
picks up and
and I
changes.
hadn't really considered like what the binge would be like for this series, or how different that would feel. I hadn't considered that yet. Normally I do think about stuff like that, but for Astro Royale I'm kind of just like, because I think I'm just like so checked out that I'm just like, oh my god, I don't care to reread it and see what
it's not immediately doing it.
Yeah, what a binge would feel like. Yeah,
it just I've been realizing this more with not just manga but also anime, because I honestly I kind of had like a similar feeling when I was like getting into Shangri-La Frontiers anime. Like I was in it for the start, but then I just couldn't bring myself to watch it week to week. Then I binged it up to a point, and then I like you got that feeling back, and it just didn't stop. So I
Yeah.
just kept going with it. Some series just are either just meant to be binged, or either or meant or just feel stronger from a weekly read or watch through, or have a decent balance of both. And right now, it just feels like Astro feels like a series that's more so meant to be binged with how things are going, with how we've gotten the series thus far. Like when I binged to catch up to the series, I had a lot of fun. But by the time we reach the most recent arcs, it really does feel like this series might more so be better in a binge format than in a weekly format, at least in this section of the story.
Sure, I could see
Yeah.
that.
Just got to see where it goes with this tournament. I guess it's just like my thoughts so far with this first fight of the tournament are basically the same thoughts I had with the last arc, where it was like the things that happened were cool. Like the things that happened in this fight, I do think are good, especially last chapter. But it feels like there should have been more. Like this fight should have another chapter, and it would have made things feel a bit better. But maybe there's also the fear of like my shit might get axed, so I can't drag it out too long.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was thinking like too, man. It's just like it feels like he's like, kind of limited by like the magazine that he's in to produce like certain, shit for the sake of not getting his shit axed, and is kind of
yeah,
like, sacrificing, certain elements of his skills and capabilities as a writer for the sake of surviving in a magazine like Weekly Shonen Jump. Because it's like, man, I'm thinking like if this was taking place in like Tokyo Revengers, there would just be a lot more like character depth and writing going on for everybody
Yeah.
involved from chapter to chapter. It just seemed like such a much more like character driven story in Tokyo
yeah.
Revengers, and it was like so strong in those areas of writing and storytelling that I'm just like, where is that in this? You know what I mean? It
You
feels
know,
like we're just kind of like skimming through, like really like there's a lot of potential for like characters and their arcs and like the writing that they can receive from chapter to chapter and situation in Astro Royale, and it feels like we kind of like gloss over that for the sake of moving the story along or getting this like, Yakuza like world building and action that just like is not hitting for me for
Also,
some reason.
I
Yeah.
think I realized something recently, but you go first, Yato.
I was just gonna say it also just feels like to me he has like on a notepad or something, or like a big whiteboard in front of him when he draws that just says like every chapter make sure they include a moment to like make Habaru the cool good guy MC. Like he just
Yeah.
every chapter he just has
Very
like, oh yeah,
lazy.
he's the good guy, he's the great, he's the greatest, make sure he looks good. It's like you could not do that. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
he has some good moments, but it feels like I don't know, it just doesn't feel authentic.
Yeah.
but yeah, though, this actually takes me back to like our discussion back during the Gachiakuta section about like so like how Weekly Shonen magazine feels different from Shonen Jump. A
Yeah,
part of another thing I feel like is that Shonen Jump is like more has their hands on the axe button, and so there is this added layer of stress to try and like not only get the story moving as quickly as possible so readers can get invested, but also like potentially for like newer people to the magazine, there's always a chance that like editors will like be more than likely to tell you what's gonna happen unless they're to try and avoid getting axed. Like, cause like something I realized while watching like reading some of the manga from like Weekly Shonen magazine, a lot of them have a lot slower pacing at the start. Like they're not
yeah.
like they'll have a good beginning, but they'll like take their time building up the characters and the world. Meanwhile, like with Shonen Jump, a lot of the series are relatively fast paced, especially now. Ichi the Witch being a bit of an exception, with them taking their time with the series at the start to properly explain things and then giving us a bit quicker pacing, but it's still like not super quick. And I think that's the main difference between like Tokyo Revengers and Astro Royale. With Tokyo Revengers, that magazine seemingly gave Wakui like
Time to
more time to
breathe.
flesh things
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
time to
Yeah,
flesh
more
things
time to
out.
breathe.
It's like, man, I'm going back through this scene where he sends the black impact at the Yakuza heads, and it's just like, man, it's like I think about like a series like One Piece that's obviously like a million chapters or whatever, and it's had time to like really establish like characters and
Mhm.
their roles in the story, and like, how big of a deal like, certain characters are, and like how big of a threat they they kind of like represent in the greater context of the world at hand and whatnot. And it's like, man, like these, and I know like we just met these Yakuza heads, but they just do not have the on-screen presence or, you know, the feeling of being like these big threats that would really sell this scene on a hype level for the decision that Hibaru makes to attack them. You know what I mean? Like they just seem like, I know they're big deals like in the world of Astro Royale, but Ken Wakui hasn't really like sold that to me yet. So him like throwing the black impact at them and like grabbing dude and coming back, it's just like, I don't know, they just feel like chumps to me like right now. So like the scene doesn't hit as hard as it would have if like these would have been like, you know, like fleshed out, established like, you know, characters where we know like what they represent in the world of Astro Royale, and we've seen them like do things that like make us worry about their reaction to something like this or something like that. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, you got some nerve attacking us. It's like, yeah, does he though? Like you kind of seem like a fucking bitch to me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you better activate next chapter and do some shit that like really makes Hibaru regret this decision or something like that. You know what I mean? Am I supposed to just care because I know you're a Yakuza head because the story told me that? Like, and then we're just gonna move on from this and the tournament's going to continue, or is there actually going to be like consequences to this decision that he made and you guys are just like sitting here in your panels like aura farming because like we're supposed to know that you're crazy Yakuza heads? Like I don't know, it just doesn't feel like, I don't feel the threat from them that I feel like I should for a scene like this. You know what I mean?
I need for like when this fight to end, like when what's the other guy's name with the shield, Terasu. I need for like fucking when Terasu's fight to be happening, like Hibaru like goes to get a fucking Pepsi from a vending machine and he just get fucking poked up by a bunch of dudes. Like they just run up on him like, you shouldn't have fucked with us, man. Just stab him up and beat his ass.
Dude. Like you thought you could get away with that? Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, like you thought shit was sweet, bro. Like just a bunch of hooded motherfuckers just run up on him and beat his ass and throw him in a trash can. And
black hooded Timberland footed ninjas.
Yeah, Terasu gets out of his fight. He's like, whew, man, where's Hibaru? Like, what the fuck? Where is he?
Oh, he's bleeding out in the gutter because he fucking did that crazy stupid shit in front of all the Yakuza heads last chapter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only character from the Yakuza Association that I have even the most inklingness of feelings that like will back up their shit is their brother, the Immortal, because we did get a glimpse of him at the start of this arc. Like, okay, he seems like there's something with him. Like, he could potentially be a threat.
Yeah.
He's the only one there that I would buy, but even then, we didn't get much with him.
I feel like this fucking fireball at the Yakuza scene would have hit way more if like a fucking very cool looking character stepped up and just stood in front of this shit and blocked it. Because like the blast goes off, it don't look like anybody blocked it. Like it just looks like it blew up like 10 feet in front of everybody. So like nobody's hurt. Like
and then he just like instantly has little bro like in front of him. It's like, when did you grab him? First of all, you want to know what it reminds me of? Like a good scene to compare this to. You remember in the Marineford arc in One Piece when Luffy, fucking God, what is his name? Jinbei, you know, does like the crazy tidal wave shoulder throw like typhoon and like sends Luffy right in front of the admirals. And Luffy's got the big like mast, like the big wooden like ship mast that he's holding, and he like throws it at him and like throws like a Gatling and like sends it into like a million parts like at the admirals and whatnot. Like that scene hit so hard because we know who the admirals are and how powerful they are and what they can really do to you and how much like leagues above, you know, Luffy they all are. And for him to just be planted right dead set in front of them while they're chilling in their fucking seats, like, dude, you're way too close to these niggas that can one shot you if they really wanted to. And like that scene was so hype because of, you know, how much of a threat the admirals had been built up to be up to that moment. And it feels like this is kind of like trying to, you know, invoke like similar feelings as that. And it's like we barely even know these Yakuza heads, so it just doesn't hit. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe for everyone in the stands, like maybe everyone in the stands, like it feels like similar, you know, to that Luffy scene to like the characters in the story, but like to the reader, it's like, who the fuck even are you niggas, bro?
Yeah, none of them look intimidating. Like 2 of them are old as fuck. One of them is their adopted brother, and the other is just like a chick who just is, fucking stepping on niggas with dog cages on their face. It's like, okay, like
Right.
none of these characters to me are screaming like, oh man, you're gonna really regret doing that shit, bro. Like
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get their ass beat. Like nothing like that.
Yeah, again, I think this just comes down to like Walkway having to rush things a lot quicker than he's usually used to, and probably the fact that he thinks with how things are going with Astro Royale, a tournament arc might just be like a get out of jail free card for the most part.
Yeah,
Which
that's a good way to put it.
yeah, yeah, because if you want more engagement for a series, there's always a chance that a tournament arc will boost stuff up, give you an excuse to bring on more characters, more new like fighting styles and abilities. Obviously, we so far it doesn't feel that great, but we don't know how things are like with the Japanese readers. But for right now, it just doesn't feel, I don't know, that satisfying. Things could
Yeah.
change moving forward for all we know, but because we do know that the other brother, I believe, is supposed to, I forgot his name, the one with the gravity powers. He's supposed to be in that area too when this arc started. He was supposed to be heading in
Shio?
that area too.
Yeah, Shio's in the tournament,
Shio,
I
yeah.
think.
No, he's not. He's not in the bracket.
Yeah, but he's like in the area though, isn't he? Like we know that
He's supposed to be in the
he was invited
so
to this at the very least, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was
yeah, because
invited,
he wants the
But
midnight
he'll-
ore or whatever, daybreak ore.
Mhm.
yeah, he'll probably just show up at the very last second. I feel like that's where we're gonna build up to for this portion of the arc's conclusion.
Oh
For
yeah,
all
have we
know.
talked about that yet? Like how like it's kind of like a cliche, or at least it happens like a lot in these shonen stories where the tournament arc doesn't conclude and it gets like interrupted by like some villain attack.
I don't think we
For the
talked
most
about it
part.
on this show, but
Do
yeah,
you
yeah,
think,
we,
do you
we
think that
definitely
that's
had.
No, but
you-
it's
yeah.
a staple.
Do we think that that's
Yeah.
where this is where the
I
this
think
tournament
so.
arc is going, or do we think that the tournament arc like actually concludes legitimately?
I
It
think
could
it'll probably
conclude.
get in.
It'll
Go ahead,
either
go ahead.
get. It's sorry about that. But no, you were saying that it was gonna probably just like get interrupted, right?
Yeah, before
Yeah, I mean,
the ending, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's either gonna get interrupted or it's gonna finish. There's only 2 outcomes, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's either gonna be concluded or it's either gonna be interrupted or it's gonna finish. And once Subaru gets Daybreak or boom, Shio comes in and wrecks the house, and then they have their rematch, and then we get Hibaru seeing, okay, he's improved a bit, but he also improved a bit.
Oh, so you think it
So
does
he kinda-
finish and Hibaru gets the Daybreak Aura and then Shio attacks?
and then and then he attacks.
Okay.
Like, you know,
I can-
everybody's exhausted from the fights. This would be easy pickings.
I think it gets to the finals or somewhere close to the finals or like sometime before, you know, the final match. They're like, all right, let's bring the Daybreak Aura out and remind y'all what y'all fighting for, and they like have it up on a pedestal, and like, you know, before the fight maybe even starts or something, or like halfway through it, she was like, man, fuck this tournament arc, man, fuck what y'all talking about. You know what I'm here for. Give me that shit. You know what I mean? I got my people. We running up, we grabbing that shit. I don't care about the winner of this garbage. Give me what I came here for. And then everyone has to like kind of team up to like stop Shio from just like outright stealing the Daybreak Aura.
Yeah.
Because like it feels
I
like
can
that's
see
where it's
that,
going, because Hibaru is clearly like winning over the hearts of his opponents so far.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can see them all just being like, man, fuck that shit. We're on your team now, buddy. Let's stop this common threat from stealing the
Yeah.
Daybreak or whatever.
I can see that being a way to axe the series. Like the tournament gets close to wrapping up, Shio pulls up and fucking cue the final arc. or
And then
whatever,
all
like,
of the
now-
characters
Yes,
involved throughout
yeah.
the whole story are here at the tournament for some reason to stop him from. It's like, yo, we heard
Yeah.
Shio was coming to steal the Daybreak Ore, so the whole cast is here to stop him.
Yeah. Or maybe he does take it and escape and manages to leave, and then we just, the next like 6 to 12 chapters is just the final arc. Like Shio is posted up in some laboratory. He's like, oh, I got all the Daybreak cores, time to make my fucking master plan. And everybody pulls up, and it's just a big fucking final battle arc with Shio, who eats a Daybreak ore like fucking Cop Dude did and becomes fucking icy Ninja Turtle or some shit, something crazy. I don't know. But I can see
you
like
never
if
know what's
Shio
gonna happen now.
yeah, if Shio pulls up and takes the ore, I definitely feel like it's going towards an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really hoping like Tarasu's not the next fight. I pulled up the bracket. Samidare and the fucking ponytail dude that was with the Immortal is like the next fight. I don't know who Samidare is, but
I think it's her other brother.
okay. Well,
think so.
The brothers they all use Yatsurugi as their family name or whatever. He's the final. He's seeded, so he's just fighting
Oh,
the finalist or whatever. But Tarasu is in the third fight. So after this fight, there's a fight, and then after that is Tarasu versus somebody. So I'm really hoping that the Tarasu fight is good because like he's the Shield bro. He needs to do something cool, and
he's
his
got a
fight needs
Captain
to not.
America.
Yeah, his fight needs to not just be blocking until the other guy ODs, and it needs to be cool.
Yep.
And if not, then I'm probably lost hope.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's cool when it's cool, but like I don't know, maybe Jump ain't the right fit for bro. We'll see though.
Mhm.
We could be wrong, and this shit could be the next big thing and just start popping off in the next 5 chapters. We'll see.
I
We'll see.
I
Yeah.
really hope so because like I want to
Me
like
too.
Astro Royale a lot. I think conceptually it has a lot to offer, and
Yeah, despite my gripes with it, I still enjoy it.
I like the characters like that we've gotten so far. Like Hibaru's team is cool. Like like the villains have been or the antagonist villains whatever have been great outside of scarred face ice gun dude like and
Yeah.
his little team like outside of that, you know what I mean? Like I think that there's a lot here, and it's
Yeah.
sad that it's just not like kind of playing with the toys in a way that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you got to put the toys back in the toy box and try again with another thing, like cool. Like I fuck with Ken Wakui as a writer, and I know he's got like a lot of skills and a lot of quality inside of him, but like and maybe this is hitting for like some people. I think I was looking at the comments of this newest chapter like thinking it would be like, oh yeah, this shit is getting axed, fuck this garbage. Like I think I was like looking for that, but like the manga plus comments were like overwhelmingly positive, so it's like, okay, this is hitting for some people, cool. But maybe it's just not for me, and it's not doing anything wrong, and I just don't see the vision for some reason or whatever. But
That's always a
Yeah.
possibility.
yeah,
Yeah, I just pulled up the Weeb Central version comments, and there's no new comments since December, and it's a racist. It's a very racist comment.
Oh,
It is a very racist comment. There's also my tweet here that's saying, I get ahead of the curve and throw my podcast up here. Check this out, bitches.
yeah.
But yeah, there's 3 commenters. Mine, there's one that says mid would be appraised for this series on December 3rd, and then there's a it's from a commenter named L9 Jeff Epstein. So yeah, I'm just not gonna read their comment.
Why
Oh
is that
no,
their name?
dude! The internet
Yeah,
strikes
Jesus
again,
Christ.
bruh.
Yeah, that's some internet shit for you. But I think that's going to do it for this chapter. I don't have it pulled up anymore. I think it's chapter 39. What about you, Knox?
Yeah, I think I'm good too. I feel like I need to stop being such a hater. I feel like I'm all squeezed out with my criticisms. I don't want to like talk in circles and keep complaining
Yeah.
about the same thing. But there's more I could say, but I'm done.
Yeah. What about you, Weeb?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, so that was Weeb's favorite chapter of the week. That was chapter 38 for this.
Don't put words in my mouth.
That's chapter 38 for Astro Royale.
Oh shit.
Now jumping into the final segment of the night, we have Kagurabachi chapter 65, Imitate. And I'll start it off. I really like this chapter. It's pretty wordy towards the back end, but it's all good, baby. We got that goodness, that Kagurabachi greatness. We start off with the fight going a little more with Chihiro and Kaguri, and dude is dude is pissed. He's just like, well, not pissed. Oh, yeah, mixed with piss. It's in there. He's like, can't hold back anymore. He's just letting loose fight Chihiro, but Chihiro's not intimidating, but he imitated this fucking skill. He didn't even learn it. He's like, fucking, you didn't have a teacher, bro? What do you mean? I didn't train with a master. He just looked at it, yeah. And they even used your favorite word, yeah. The EI white purity style is an esoteric EI technique.
God, I knew when I read this chapter that you were going to say this, bro.
This is his word, yeah. Like people comments it several times. Knox be using words that nobody's ever used, and like we hate that for him and everyone else. Like, how dare him use words that like I could look up in the dictionary, but because he did it, he said it. I'm not gonna look it up, and I'm gonna be mad about it. Anyway.
Oh God, man, why me, bro?
That's the world we live in.
That's the world we live in, bro. Fuck y'all, dude.
Yeah. Don't say words that are more than 4 letters on the internet, please.
Yeah, seriously, a warning to all of you.
Yeah, but good chapter, man. Just we get into this whole imitation. I keep wanting to say intimidation, but yeah, Chihiro got them eyes, man. And it's funny because like 2 or 3 days before this chapter came out, there was another one of those stupid shit posts online where somebody made another one of those like shonen MCs and what carries them, and it's like Naruto, hard work, One Piece, fucking luck, and then you got fucking I can't remember all of them, but Chihiro was on there for the first time.
Uh-oh.
And Chihiro, it said genetics. Oh, and Deku was on there, and Deku's was like genetics. And I was like, what did Deku
What
get
the
genetically? And I was like,
fuck?
does eating All Might's hair count as genetics? Because like, what the fuck?
I
So it was,
guess.
but like, it's funny that Chihiro was up there for genetics, and then his thing does actually come down to eyesight, and it's like his dad had good eyesight. He's got good eyesight, so they were kind of right.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it's brilliant how they tied this, into Rokuhira, or is it Kunishige? What's their family name? Which
Kunishige,
one is
yeah.
it? Oh yeah, okay.
Rokuhira is the family name.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, no, I thought that this was really cool because it's like whenever you have these situations and these stories where the MC has to progress at like a lightning fast rate because the narrative like requires him to. It's all about like how you kind of like connect those dots so it doesn't feel hand wavy or like a Deus Ex Machina or something like that. So you have to like actually sit with it for a while and think about what the explanation is going to be. And you have Kaguri say like, holy shit, this is an esoteric EI technique that like not very many people have like figured out. How are you doing it right now when you didn't even have a master who trained you? And then you go into like, okay, well, Kunishige had this quality inside of himself that made him such an expert swordsmith because he was able to see the minute details inside of the Datenseki as it was being heated and as it was being pounded, so that he knew exactly what he had to do on like a really high level to like craft them into the blades that he could. And this is like something that is unique to Kunishige. This is what made him special. This is the whole point of like why these blades came in to be the way that they are in the first place. And of course that's passed down into his child, and his child also has that quality inside of his eyes to be able to pick up on like really small, easy to miss details, and that can translate well into combat. Like that's all you needed to say, and it immediately feels so good that Chihiro is able to do what he's doing in this situation. It doesn't feel like, oh, okay, just give him what he needs in any situation because he's the MC. Like, no, there's a lot more thought to it than that. And the writing, kind of shows that. You know what I mean? Like Hokuzono like thought this out, and it feels really good.
Yeah. It definitely it fits with just Chihiro's everything so far. Like we found out that he's not, like a master sword wielder. He's had basically the cheat code with this crazy blade, and then we find out he's got like fucking his eyes are cold too, so he's able to basically mimic shit. And it works for his character. And I just look forward to seeing like where he goes with this. And at the end of the chapter, we really get like this arc so far was kind of like a training. Like he was getting in the field, on the field battle experience fighting Kuguri, but also at the end now he's basically giving himself a time limit, saying like I will master this EI style within 24 hours.
And it's not finished in one conflict, you know what I mean? Like he makes a little bit of progress, he impresses like a master swordsman and goes like, holy shit, how are you able to do this? And Chihiro's like, it's still not good enough. I need to continue this at a later point. Gives himself the time limit regardless, but it's not too fast. You know what I mean? He doesn't have, the puzzle completely figured out after like one go. You know what I mean? And that's what's really important here, I think.
Yeah, very true. I do like how we're building up to Samura's daughter, like not just learning the truth and breaking her seal, but like giving her a sense of like autonomy to like rethink the whole like memory loss thing and forgetting the father that she loves. And if that's the case, if she chooses for some reason or is unable to get sealed again, I'm curious to see how how her involvement will like alter things going forward, because the Hishaku are after her. Samura is constantly having the watchful eye. The Kamunabi are basically kind of off doing their own thing right now, dealing with the kerfuffle, but will probably end up realizing that she's alive and must be dealt with. there's a lot going on right now, and I feel like having her like actually understand the situation could change things for the better and maybe help with Chihiro's own development, especially with that one instance in the chapter when thinking about it, he was wondering like maybe if I wasn't with my living with my dad the entire time, maybe I could have gone to school, made friends, all that, had a life, and then just saying, even with all that, I wouldn't trade the time I had with my dad so far, like at all.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
cherish that.
this is really good character stuff, man. Like this is something that I feel like is like a really good balance inside of a story like Kagurabachi because like yes, it is
Mhm.
very high action and there's a lot of aura going on and it's a lot of like raw choreography and a lot of hype shit going on, but it's balanced really well with Hokazono's ability to have Chihiro relate to, you know, the character of interest from arc to arc in these really,
Mhm.
you know, wholesome and deep like character driven ways, you know what I mean? Like it's very similar to what's the teleporter niggas from the um from the auction arc last time that got introduced.
Chiba. Not not sh-
No, my
not sh-
bad.
oh Kiora and
Yeah.
Hakuri.
Hawkery, yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it was really well done, you know. And even with Char, you know, the arc before that, like with the Sojo stuff, you know what I mean. Like
Mhm.
Hokuzono makes sure that he has like, you know, an element of Chihiro relating to, you know, whatever the character of interest is from arc to arc in like a very you know, like well done way, you know what I mean? Like this, like the way that it's done here is like really brilliant. Like it makes so much sense where it's like, okay, she's getting her memories back because she has like this strong tie to Samura. She's putting it together with no clues, but like we can't tell her anyway because like all of the forces are going to come after her, and it's better off that she just forgets this entire thing entirely. And Chihiro's like, you know what? No, this should be her choice to decide that because flashback to him here, like what we was just saying. It's like, what if I'd never lived with my dad? I could have gone to school. I could have had a normal life. Like maybe I wouldn't be covered in wounds, but even so, like I wouldn't trade that time for anything. And you see like the fishbowl panel, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, like let her decide because if I was in this situation, I would want to know too. And
Yeah.
it just makes so much sense, and it's like so good for the series to be able to balance all of that action and all of the blood and guts and sword fighting with like really deep character moments like these, and always having it be like Chihiro and the new character introduced for the arc is just like really well done because it makes sure that Chihiro doesn't like fall into the background too much, and like he maintains his status as the main character that's supposed to be getting all of the writing, but like it's not just the Chihiro show either, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm really starting to care a lot about Samura's daughter at the same exact time because of the way Hokuzono like maps out these new character for the arc relationships with Chihiro, and it's just all so well done in every
Yeah.
arc.
And it's
Mhm.
like they're right. You know, they should definitely be sealing her up because by not doing it, like they're putting her in a fucking world of danger. But I love that Chihiro seems to like every character that he comes in contact is either they have something he's lacking, like experience or like a family or some shit because his family got murdered, or like maybe he's in a situation where he can like empathize with them because like maybe their family, doesn't act the way they should, like Hakuri's family, like they're fucking nuts, and he's seeing that like his dad is willing to like kill his own son type of shit. And it's like that's not how families should fucking operate. And then you get characters like this where it's like you said, he can't imagine a life like where he didn't have his dad. And it's like I don't want to take that from her. She should have that as her choice. So it's like every character he comes in contact with either like has something that he's missing, or maybe like he has something they're missing and wants better for them. And it's good writing, man. I really appreciate what Hokuzono's been doing. Just alongside that, we just got fucking absolute cinema, man. Like,
Yeah.
and just speaking of cinema, fucking the hotel, bro. We got the Continental, bro, from fucking John Wick. It's the fucking John Wick hotel that they're in.
Oh yeah, it totally is, isn't it? God damn it.
Yeah, rest in peace to Lance Riddick, yo. They got the
Hmm.
fucking Yojiro Sengoku dude to be the fucking concierge guy or whatever. But this is fucking cool. Like I saw that, I was like, bro, John Wick, like immediately, like there's no bloodshed in the hotel. Like our guests are fucking safe. No danger.
Yeah,
It's
that's
absolutely out of the
exactly what
question.
it is. God damn it. How did I not think of that before this conversation?
So we
Yeah,
straight.
things pop to mind as we talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I
straight.
like really appreciate these kind of discussion spaces.
Yeah, it's like this is dope, man. Like he managed to squeeze in another movie reference real quick. Yeah, it's like got to get them John Wickertons in there. Show that it ain't just Batman, baby. But
Yeah.
but
Batman,
nah, this is
Oppenheimer, John Wick. What a crazy
it.
combo.
Yeah, it's like crazy inspirations for manga. Yeah. Something that I had been thinking for a while, and it kind of like I thought about it more this chapter was when they started talking about his eyes and his dad and the whole eyesight thing. Like one of my like running theories that I kind of hadn't put to paper. I don't know if I was thinking about making a video out of it or something, but I feel like at some point Chihiro is going to like fucking smith his own sword or fucking create swords for someone else. Because like you always get the situation like this where like you find out that somebody that came before the main character was a fucking prodigy or something in some way, and it's like you gotta you I feel like you usually want to show the main character like surpassing them, so it's like in a way have Chihiro surpass his father by crafting like another more perfect better sword or something
Yeah, eventually
that
they are
doesn't.
going to have to spin the block on that element of his character, right? Because that is kind of like where Chihiro started in this whole thing, was
Yeah,
trying to be like the next best swordsmith after his father or whatever.
yeah, because he knows the game. He knows how to, be a blacksmith. I'm sure he understands, the same thing that his dad did with observing the properties, the minute properties of the stone. And it's like Datsenseki still exists. Like Sojo had some, so it's like at some point I can see him getting some Datsenseki, and it's like we need more weapons. And Chihiro's like, hand me that shit, and he makes like a blade for somebody, but like
Yeah,
maybe this one that Chihiro makes doesn't seal up your sorcery or something. So maybe he
yeah.
gives yeah, maybe he crafts like the perfect version and he gives it to like Hakuri, and Hakuri can still use his like fucking inner domain.
Shit. Yeah, and that would just be so cool because it's like Chihiro was taken from, his real passion of creating swords and kind of thrown into this new lifestyle of having to be a sword wielder for the sake of
Yeah.
revenge and for the sake of, protecting, innocent people and like whatever like else is involved in his motivations after his father was murdered and whatnot. Like he was forced into this life. This isn't the life that he chose. So even though he's, prodigious in this area, of his life now because he kind of has to be, like at the end of the day, like what he really wanted to do was the other thing. So that would just be so cool if later on in the story, they're just like, man, Chihiro, like, what can't he do, man? Like, holy shit, you got EI White Purity style. Like, you've only been fucking sword fighting for like 3 years, bro. Like, you're so fucking cool, man. It's like, yeah, you think so? Well, wait
And
until I
self
start
talk too.
crafting shit. Like,
Yeah.
give me that hammer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be so hype.
Yeah, 'cause it's like he hasn't had the time to do like he probably like nobody knows. I don't think the Datsenseki's still around or whatever because Soju like found some, I think, and like he just
Mm.
hasn't had the time to sit down and like fucking do shit. It's like
Yeah.
his life has just
I
been
mean,
revenge.
Mm-hmm.
they have like a boatload of the stones. Remember when they attacked the fortress? Most of the people attacking were people empowered by the stones.
Oh, that's true
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
He just
yeah, yeah.
hasn't
yeah.
turned them into like an actual tree yet that could have long-lasting benefits
They
if
had
what's
they
been
had
said
like
is true.
they had like shitty knockoffs, like imperfection version of like the fucking swords that
Oh,
like the
that's what it
weapons that
was, huh?
yeah, they
Mhm.
weren't perfect. So it was like they were giving them out to people like to experiment, and the guys were coming. They would come up to Sojo like those weapons you sold us, fucking murdered our dudes, and it's like so what, bro? Get the fuck out of here! Like he was just giving them to people as like lab rats and let them run the streets with them, but they were like killing themselves with the weapons. It's like if Chihiro touches it, like he hasn't come in contact, but like let Chihiro get that hammer and get some of that fucking rock, bro. He can fucking if he make a real sword and fucking make some shit, it only had to be a sword. Maybe fucking make an axe or something. But like, give Hakuri something where he can fucking get dirty for real. And like, what? How do you
Mm.
surpass like the legendary fucking Kunishige Rokuhiro? You make a sword that doesn't seal your sorcery. I feel like that's the next logical step. It's like
Mm.
the even
Yeah, the
more
possibility is definitely
legendary.
out there.
Yeah, and it's like his name will go crazy, like the even more legendary fucking swordsmith Chihiro Rokuhira. Like he makes the swords that don't seal your sorcery. So it's like imagine any of these fuckers getting that shit
That
and
would be
just
the
steal.
greatest way for him to honor the memory of his dad too, is to just become
Yeah.
the better version of him and, craft the sword that, kind of like ends the whole conflict that Kunishige was so worried about in the first place. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that would be
Mhm.
like the perfect send off, the perfect like, closure of Chihiro's character arc is to accomplish something like that.
now that we're like even more in it, I could see him crafting that shit and naming it Kunishige, like naming it after his father.
Yo,
That's
so good.
Yeah, we.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, we need to remember this episode number.
Yeah,
we need to write this episode number down. Put it in a note. I'm putting it in a note in my phone right now.
Yeah,
bro, you killed the fucking game with that.
Need that shit to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just like the final chapter, like it's gotta happen, bro. Like the final chapter, kind of like the Sukuna figure in the box. Like it just if you just see the sword like in the holder or whatever, it is just like the name of it is Kunishige. It's just,
dude, that just gave me goosebumps, dude. Oh my god, I think I came a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
Too much information, man.
Let me relax. Let me relax.
Yeah, no. That should be fire.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, another banger chapter. Thank you, fucking Hokuzono Sensei, for delivering banger after banger, nonstop.
All gas, no breaks.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny if Chihiro does master like what he wants to master in this 24-hour period, and like Kuguri's probably like eating the hot Cheetos right now. He like runs into him again, and he's just a whole different dude. He's like, "What the fuck, bro? I just saw you yesterday. How are you a master?"
Yeah, we're already seeing like crazy like character conflict in just a couple of like chapters with this Kuguri guy who like devoted himself to the blade, and like you always see that in these shonen stories. Like it reminds me of like Hunter x Hunter as well, like in the Greed Island arc where Gon and Killua like pull up to they're like joining like the anti like bomber forces or whatever, and they're all like kind of like showing like what they can do. Or maybe it's no, it's before that. Even to get into Greed Island they had to do like a Nen assessment and see like how far they had kind of like came with their ability to like use Nen before going into Greed Island. And then you had like Sezagera was like the old head like Nen user with like the goatee or whatever, and they had like a jumping test or something like that to see like how well they could like use their Nen to like jump really high in like a vertical jump test or something. And he had like an existential crisis because he was like, bro, I've been training Nen for like 30 years and like I can only get up this high. And then he like looks up and Gon and Killua are like fucking 3 stories above him in the jumping test, and it's like, how are these little niggas able to do this? This is like impossible right now. You always like kind of like have that in these stories, especially like ones with like power systems and whatnot. Like you have the prodigious like main characters that like are just like breezing past like things that took other characters like 10 years to learn. It's like the main character can do it in like 3 months or something like that, and you always have a character that's just like, no, this is impossible, how can this be, and it's like this Kuguri dude just like totally represents that inside of Kagurabachi right now.
Yeah, he's a fun character. He's definitely he's here to show us fucking where Chihiro started and where he fucking ends up.
Yeah, from
this level and up. But that and we finally got the girl's name. It's Toto or whatever. So that was fun. I feel like Hokuzono is like looking at the internet. Is like, oh, these people like the fans are giving my characters names. Let me go ahead and name them now. So it's like everybody was calling her Lily, and it's like, all right, her name's Toto. It's like, oh shit, I would have never guessed that. Like I would have, I
love Toto so much.
Yeah, she's fun. And like I like how he's like, Toto, you alive? She's like, I'm dead. Samora's daughter got away. No.
She's so uninterested in what they're doing. It's awesome.
She's just like laying down on the ground, face down. It's like, how is she? I don't know what the detection sorcery is like. Is it something that she feels or something? Because she's just like, the detection sorcery is getting 0 hits. We don't even have the vaguest sense of the whereabouts. But she's laying face down. It's like, how is it? Just like
it's like it's like a mental like UAV. Yeah, it's probably like a Sixth Sense like style like thing,
like
where
like a key sense or something.
Yeah, it's just like a beep boom, beep boom, beep, like type shit.
Yeah, she's just like laying there. Yeah. Just like, you don't want to get up. She's like, no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead. Reminds me of like, dude, Cool Runnings when they like crash their sled or whatever, like after they're like training for the Olympics or something like that, and he's like, Sanka, you dead? And he's like, yeah, man.
That's one I haven't seen, but I know it's fucking Jamaican.
Oh,
I know it's a Jamaican
yo.
bobsled movie.
I
I
watched
know
that
what it
movie like
is.
3 times in high school.
Yeah,
That's
bro, that's
crazy.
a staple. Childhood
Yeah,
staple.
I gotta get on that. I know what it is. I just haven't seen
Mm-hmm.
it. But
Mhm.
I just noticed that Toto actually is like she's laying here, her face down on this top panel. Her eyes are open. She's just like looking at the ground.
Yeah, it's like, damn, we got
Mhm.
cooked. This is fucking lame. Why the
Mhm.
fuck are we on this mission, bro? I just want to
Yeah,
go
like bro,
eat
this
takoyaki and ramen with the girls right now.
right. Yeah, nah, this is ridiculous. And it was a good chapter, man. I love what I see. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got John Wick reference, fishbowl, and other cool stuff. So I think that's about it for me for this chapter. What about you, Knox?
I think I'm good too.
And you, Weep?
I think I'm good.
All right, that's going to do it for Kagurabachi chapter 65, Imitate. All right, before we jump into the outro, I just wanted to address a couple more things. One of them being chapter of the week. We'll start doing that probably from now on. Who knows? Might change. But anyway, what was your favorite chapter that we covered this week?
For me, I think it was probably Ichi the Witch.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough week to choose, man. What about you,
Really?
Knox?
Yeah, no, I mean it's either Ichi or Kagurabachi for me. I'm probably gonna say Kagurabachi though, dude. I really liked the writing for, you know, why Chihiro was able to copy the EI White Purity style and tying it back to Kunishige's ability to like notice minute details in sword crafting. I think that was really well done, and I really like, you know, Chihiro's resonance with Samura's daughter and like how relatable he became to her by remembering his father. I think it was just like a really good chapter in that regard, and it
Okay.
got my chapter of the week for that.
Okay. Yeah, for me, man, it was really it's really still a toss up. Like it's hard to say, man. It's definitely between Gachiakuta, Ichi the Witch, and Kagurabachi. All three of those I feel like banged and
Those are the
were like
top three
better
for
than
sure, even though we only had 5
yeah.
chapters this week.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, Centuria was great, but it just wasn't like on that same level. And Astro, I just feel like was not in the conversation at all. Like
That shit's never getting chapter of the week.
that's crazy.
It would
It
have to
might.
do a lot. It would have to do a lot. Like Kagurabachi would have to be on break for some
Yeah,
reason. Like,
the deck would have to be stacked, man.
yeah,
But
for real.
I don't know. Like I really want to say Gachiakuta because I really like the Folo
Mhm.
backstory stuff. But I also really liked what we got with Ichi and Kagurabachi. So it's like
You gotta
uh
choose.
I guess I'm gonna say my favorite chapter. Which one of those three got me the hypest? The hypest. Man, none of them really like invoked like crazy hype. I wasn't
Right.
screaming while I read any of them, so it's
Yeah.
like it wasn't that kind of week. So
Mhm.
I guess I'll go with Kagurabachi. There's also that crazy conversation we had in there. So if you were somebody who are listening to the outro and didn't listen to the segments, go check out the Kagurabachi segment faux show. It was money
Mhm.
bags, and it was a great chapter, man. Everything was great. Besides Astro, everything had good chapters this week. But yeah, now we're gonna jump into comments of the week. So yeah, just looking at some of these comments, we have Magnus _ artifact. Shout out to him, man. Haven't talked to him in a while from the
Big
Project Manga
Magnus.
days.
Yeah, the OG.
Yeah,
What up, dude?
yeah. Shout out to him. Discaris wanted to experiment on the world hater magic, saying she'll find out what he hates the most. If he doesn't want to give in his trial, then he would hate anything related to it. So basically, Discaris is going to throw random things at him until it works. I kind of like that idea. Just kind of like fucking with him in different areas, like poking him in the armpit, and it's like, do you hate that shit? Okay, maybe that's like maybe that's close to, just kind of messing with him, throwing, hitting him with sponges and tickling his ear with feathers. It's like we got to find out what his trial is. It's one of these things is like going to set him off. So I like that idea.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that being, even though what we got in the chapter that followed this comment, kind of didn't really touch on the comment itself in the chapter or whatever, but I can definitely still, regardless of that, I could see that being Discaris's kind of like outlook on the fight or like idea for the fight in general. So
Yeah. I can see it being a thing where like a magic gets captured and they like chain him down and they're like, we're gonna find out what his thing is, and they just keep trying stuff until they figure out what kills him or whatever.
yeah.
But let's see. Let's see. I appreciate Bachi acknowledging that my boy ain't really got no sword play. He's just a chill guy with a busted sword. He needed this weakness addressed, and I agree. The chill guy comment killed me, but yeah. Chihiro really is just a dude with a busted sword, man. And it's like this is
But not for
good for
long.
his
He
character.
on his way. Yeah.
Yeah, he about to show them moves off, man. So yeah, this is good stuff. Let me see. I'm gonna read one more if we got one. Regarding the fight between the Dandadan crew, wouldn't only people who had a spiritual awakening be able to see the yokai-based powers? Vamola and Kinsa would just be plain visibly tough, I think. Yeah, maybe. I think we kind of addressed that before, where it was like a case of maybe someone was saying, I think the person Knox was saying like Okarun went vampire mode and somebody saw it, but maybe that was Rin
Yeah,
and
I
she
think
had
someone in the comments even did say like, yeah, that was Rin, bro, and it makes sense for her to see him as a vampire because of what we eventually find out about her, and that was like the start of her arc or whatever. So
Mm.
I thought it was just some random student making a comment, but I'd have to go back and look at it. But I'm thinking that they did that already and like went back into the manga and saw that it was Rin. So
Yeah.
I mean, it all makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, I think that that definitely answers that question. So if they touch the golden ball, they can see the powers.
Or they have some kind of like inherent relationship with spiritual energy, you know, in the way that like Momo did, you know, or something before this golden ball stuff was even a thing in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one last one. I think I said the last one was the last one, but last one for real. Chainsaw Man always had this way of balancing the fantastic with the banal. The end of the latest escapade wasn't what we expected, but it's consistent with the series. But what can they do now? Death is coming, and they don't seem to be any closer to stopping her. So yeah, I actually had forgotten all about the Death Devil just for a while, actually, for several
Oh
weeks. So
yeah.
I guess we
Yeah.
could see that creeping up pretty soon. And there was no Chainsaw Man this week, so we couldn't talk about Chainsaw Man. But
Soon.
yeah, thanks
Death
for that
Devil
comment.
final boss and Chainsaw Man. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I made
That
a
makes so
video
much
about
sense. Yeah.
I made a video in the past about what I thought about all the devils, including the Death Devil. And I'm not going to address it now. If you want to know what my thoughts about the Death Devil are, then go check that video out sometime. Help yourself. Anyway, thank you for that comment. 2meth1799, and that's going to do it for the comments of the week. Keep an eye on the community tab because I am slowly going through and adding comments to it. I did it late last week or whatever, but yeah, that's where comments of the weeks will be going. And so that's going to do it for episode 15 of the Shonen Pulse podcast. Thank you for watching. If you stuck to the end to this point to hear this message, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We love you. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, drop some comments below to let us know your thoughts. What was your chapter of the week? And if you know somebody who isn't already watching the podcast and they read some of the things that we cover, please shoot the message over to them. Say, hey man, check these guys out. Don't be a bum. Love your mom or something. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, man. We'll see y'all in the next one.